Day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line by email or Facebook. Now from Shelton's Media Row, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
Good morning to you. It is Daybreak here at KMAS of KMAS.com.
So summer's not over yet then?
No, it was raining at my house over during the overnight, and this morning on my way in, I had a pretty good a little bit of rain.
Nothing around here.
Man, that's crazy.
Dry as a bone. A little cloudy, but no precip on my way in at all. No signs of any precip either.
Yeah, and no signs of any precip here in this area this whole week. Pretty strange how that works out. How you doing?
There was a little precip on Saturday, though, during our Turning Point Golf Tournament. Thanks to everybody who came out. We had a blast. It was a lot of fun, a great turnout, very successful, largest number of folks. Very excited about all that together, and a tip of the cap to the staff and volunteers for the Turning Point golf tournament. It was a lot of fun.
Good.
And we didn't embarrass ourselves at all. We did well.
Good for you. I'm glad. I got a message from my stepmom Marnie, who was with y'all, and she said that you guys had a great time. Some good pictures. And
yeah, really did. We had a lot of fun.
Good stuff.
The golf course was in an excellent condition, and from all, I guess the highlight probably was the meal after the tournament. And there were two teams of military personnel that were paid for anonymously. We don't know who donated their green fees, but so they had 8 golfers. And they had a lot of fun. They were really enjoyable. They ended up winning the tournament. They were good golfers too. And they were probably the most fun teams. They were a little loud, a little wound up, and having a good time. And the big draw of all the prizes and all the gifts and all the raffles and everything was this wheelbarrow of beer.
Oh, yeah.
Guess who won the wheelbarrow of beer? The military team.
Sure.
They invited everybody to come have beer with them. It was so exciting, and it was a lot of fun. And it was just a good time by everybody. I think everybody had a wonderful time. Every time I looked at some team, they were all having a good time. So
good. That
was the important thing, and we raised a lot of money for a very worthwhile cause. So thanks to everybody who came out to that, and that was a blast on Saturday. You guys were you were road tripping on Saturday.
We did. We went on a Friday after the show. Friday. Our neighbors came out to the station here, and we went up to the Staircase campground park area near Lake Cushman and all that stuff.
Yeah.
What a beautiful, and road's a little windy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you about that. Road's a little windy, but by the time you get up there, and they have a lot of different levels of hike for your skill level. And we had, Kaiser was on our backpack, and we had a couple other little kids with us. So we decided on just the bridge rapid trail or whatever it was
very nice.
It's a mile in and a mile back, and a very pleasant. But we saw folks, first time I have been to Staircase, but I do not remember going there, whatever. And so I saw the rock that people jump off at the lake.
Party rock, yes.
So then there's that one road that you take a left. So you go forward to Staircase, or you could take a left over the lake.
Yes.
Where does that go?
Well, now it just kind of dead ends. However, there's homes along the other side of the lake.
Yes, I saw those homes.
So there's a few roads that go off the main road there, and that bridge has just recently been replaced. It was out for many years, yeah. And if you follow that road, and it's a Forest Service road, and it winds up into the hills. I used to go up there frequently. They have not had the funds or whatever to maintain it, so they put a big berm across it. About, I'm guessing, a mile or 2, 3 miles maybe up that road. And there's a big berm across, so you can't go any farther.
Well, regardless, it's a beautiful area.
Yeah, it really,
And
truly
the kids
is.
can definitely go hiking on there. And we did some adventure.
There's a trail. There's a called, I can't remember the name of it. There's a trail on the other side of the lake. There
Oh,
that you
really?
can take along the lake on the other side, which I've
So
done with the
big.
dogs before.
Such a big lake, too. My gosh.
Oh, man. It is. Yes, Lake Cushman's a big lake. It's like 30 miles long.
Yeah, for sure.
People don't know that.
No, it's huge. Well, that was Friday. Saturday, we went to Fort Worden.
Goodness gracious.
Beautiful Port
How's
Townsend.
the Lakey family go?
That's us. We'll be back with more news after this.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. There's no question the 49ers have had a tumultuous year and a half, but after the reshuffling, those left in the locker room are a lot more optimistic about this team's future than most people outside of their Santa Clara headquarters. Colin Kaepernick leading the brigade, of course, speaking at the governor's dinner in Nevada, saying a lot of the new faces and coaches are a part of changes for the good. Quote, I feel very confident in our team. I feel people are writing us off, but for us, that's all right, end quote. Speaking of quarterbacks, Eli Manning is entering this season without a contract for 2016, but that doesn't seem too big of a concern right now. Eli and older brother Peyton spending their weekend at their 20th annual passing academy in Louisiana with Eli, looking forward to the year ahead.
I think we got a good team that's hungry to get back to winning, getting into the playoffs. Guys have worked hard. I think we have talent, and we just got to put it all together on the field.
This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Why does market strategist James Palmer stay at La Quinta? Because he fires up the free Wi-Fi with a network that's now up to 5 times faster than before. So James can download everything he needs. And when James has what he needs, you know what happens?
This accumulation of sales to the north is going to hit this demand front from the south, so expect a significant revenue downpour.
And what are the chances of this occurring?
He becomes a rainmaker. Book now at LQ.com. When you book direct, you always get the lowest price guarantee. Terms and conditions apply.
If you celebrate the anniversary of your first brake job, then CarQuest Auto Parts is for you. If stopping on a dime isn't an expression, but an expectation, then CarQuest Auto Parts is for you. That's because CarQuest Auto Parts is for those who really know and care about their car. And CarQuest is the place for NICA bendable metal brake lines for the stopping power you depend on. With over 800,000 available parts, CarQuest is serious auto parts.
Habitat for Humanity of Mason County invites you to shop their local retail stores in Belfair and in Shelton. Construction volunteers are needed. Whether you're a construction professional or novice, Habitat for Humanity needs you. Give them a call or visit their website, and when you shop Habitat for Humanity, your dollars are put to work helping to improve, build, and maintain affordable housing right here in Mason County. Habitat for Humanity. Let's build a strong community together.
Why does Papa Murphy's offer any large pizza for just $10 on Tuesdays? Because these things also happen on Tuesdays.
Soccer practice, softball practice, t-ball practice, picture day. Jake's mom can't do carpool, dentist appointments, or the dentist appointments, Zumba lessons, Papa-thon, PTA meetings, science fair, show and tell, book reports, athlete practice.
Papa Murphy's $10 Tuesdays. Any large pizza, just $10. All fresh made and hot out of your oven. Make Tuesdays easier and more delicious. Fresh made, fresh baked. Papa Murphy's.
Love at 425 degrees.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on KMAS. Nonprofits post your events on KMAS.com. Great View Water and Art Festival features 50 artists, live music, food, kids' activities, including a fishing derby and more. It's Saturday the 25th from 10 to 4 at Fair Harbor Marina on Great New Loop Road just off Highway 3. For KMAS News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
Hi, this is Jason Dose with the City of Shelton, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
And good morning to you, 624 here, KMAS. Yeah, so on Saturday, Stephanie's doing this quilting thing. And so all over the state, all over the country, really, they've got at these quilt shops, and like Annie's here in Shelton is one of them too, and they have their own special rows. And so you go and you get a bunch of these rows and create them. And so we said Saturday, why not? Let's go on a road trip. So I want to be in the car by 7. Your store
Mission accomplished.
Your store in Squim opens at 9. And I want to be there right at 9. Well, we were right at 9.
Store wasn't open yet.
The store hours.
10.
No. When I'm here, we're open.
Oh, jeez. Well, squim time.
Squim time. So we went down to the Squim Goodwill, and I found myself a timer for my sprinkler system.
Oh.
I've been looking for one of those forever. $5.
Who'd have thought?
As opposed to 40, just had to go to Squim. But by the time we got back, the quilting place was open, and then we went down to Fort Worden and Port Townsend. Beautiful out there.
Sure.
I mean, the weather was not beautiful, but it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Very cloudy.
Yeah.
Did see that Jefferson County line road work.
Yes, you saw it up close and personal.
And that is a harrowing
major
drop off.
Major washout there. Yeah.
Right off the edge.
Major washout.
Well, a reminder before we get to the other stories from over the weekend that State Route 3 and Johns Prairie, that intersection is closed.
Today till 3, yep.
So please make sure that if you plan on cutting through Johns Prairie Road to get to Highway 3, not today.
Not today.
So to be advised.
All right. We continue our candidate interviews today, Jeff, with the Port of Shelton race, and we'll have the challenger Sue Patterson on this morning, and then we'll have the incumbent Tom Wallitner on tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we've got lined up for you there. The video voter's guide, by the way, is online right now under the news tab on KMAS.com, and you can look at all the candidates, get their I guess it's their profile picture and a statement, and also with those who interviewed with us, their interview is also locked in on our voter's guide. So check that out. And what do we got going on today?
Well, today, in addition to Sue Patterson, we're also going to talk about the noxious weeds that we kind of brought up last week.
Tansy ragwort.
The tansy ragwort. For sure, it is a yellow-flowered plant, and Patricia Grover will be in, who is a coordinator for Mason County Noxious Weed Control Board, just after the 7:30 news. So we'll talk about that. It's out, and we don't have any rain here, but the rain in Thurston County, I'm sure, does not help it stay down.
No,
if that makes any sense.
So is tansy ragwort and Scotch broom the same thing?
No, they're both yellow, and
they're both
hurt my nose.
Weeds. They're both okay.
I think they're just.
I need to get a clear distinction. I'll ask Patricia about that today. All right, and it being Monday, we have our real estate radio resource program, and our friend Brian LaFlame from the LaFlame Group will be checking in with us this morning right after the 8:00 news.
Got the home run derby tonight for the All-Star break. Robinson
on a timer.
Oh, so it's a little different.
Yeah, not 3 shanked hits and you're out. It's a timer. As many home runs as you can hit in 5 minutes or something like that. So
Robinson Cano won the home run derby in 2011.
Yeah, he's decided not to participate this year, I don't think.
Oh.
He's there. I don't.
Oh, this is a story just about him doing it.
No, Nelson Cruz and Felix are the 2 players.
Okay.
And Lloyd is there as a celebrity manager or something. No official. He's there. He's invited. He's going to be just hanging out and schmoozing.
What else is happening here in the Northwest? Waterville, Washington, they could use a little bit more, as officials in central Washington encouraging about 100 folks to leave their homes in the path of a fast-growing wildfire. Douglas County Sheriff's Office issued evacuation notices yesterday morning for people living in the Palisades and Rimrock neighborhoods of Waterville. About 300 structures are threatened, but not all are homes. Fire danger in many areas of the state remain obviously very high or even extreme.
Yeah, it's tough being named Waterville in this drought.
Yeah, Waterville is
hard to hold up your reputation.
Right on Highway 2. You drive through Waterville if you're on Highway 2. That's not what I want in images. I want a little map going on, action. While I find out more about Waterville, Dale, what else is happening?
Well, there's lots of stories. A lot of them are kind of weather-related. Seattleites, or any of us, really, without air conditioning, aren't the only ones suffering from the record-setting temperatures this summer. Peter Ellis of the National Park Service's Mount Rainier Climbing Rangers said the warm weather has led to widening crevices, more ice and rock fall. SeattlePI.com reported that crossing the glaciers and the challenges of the difficult vertical ascent attract many climbers to the highest peak in Washington, but it's very, very dangerous under these kinds of circumstances, and so not advised to do so this year, being extraordinarily hot. And so they're saying, probably not a good year to do this. Put your plans off. We've got news next at 6:30 already on a Monday. It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
For KMASNewsRadio.com, I'm Marilyn Foster. A traffic reminder that Johns Prairie Road from approximately milepost 3.30, the old county shop, to milepost 3.77 at State Route 3 on County Road number 91720 will be closed today until 3 p.m., weather permitting. The closure is needed to have the road crew chip seal the roadway. Lacey police arrested a man Saturday night for stabbing another man in the chest. Police say an altercation at an apartment complex in the 5500 block of College Loop Southeast led to the stabbing. The victim was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was booked into the Thurston County Jail. The city of Shelton has begun a series of repairs to damaged sidewalks within city limits. Public Works Director Greg Clark told KMAS the city removed 10 to 12 trees along Old Olympic Highway last Thursday in front of the PUD power station. The trees were problematic in that they were planted under power lines and had grown to dangerous heights. In addition, the sidewalks were damaged by the tree roots, resulting in a trip hazard for walkers. In total, about 700 feet of sidewalk is being repaired as a result of the tree damage and removal. The plan is to landscape at this location with low-growing shrubs instead of trees to prevent future interference with the power lines. The city has 15 more sidewalk projects of this nature scheduled. The next project is on the opposite side of Olympic Highway in front of McDonald's. The city will announce future projects before they start to keep residents informed. The Super 8 Motel on College Street in AC Health Officer Dr. Rachel Wood. The motel closed voluntarily on July 2nd due to an outbreak investigation of Legionnaire's disease. Legionnaire's disease is a serious form of pneumonia that is caused by Legionella bacteria, which is usually found in water. Prior to guests returning to the motel, treatment of the water supply system was recommended, focusing on the plumbing, ice machines, pool, and spa. County health officials verified that all of those recommendations were completed on July 10th. Shelton's Adopt-A-Pet Center has been responsible for the successful adoption of over 200 dogs per year for the last several years. KMAS spoke with Adopt-A-Pet member Oliver McHenry about the services offered by the program.
And we offer several programs. One is a spay-neuter program, which we will help pay for. We offer emergency medical, and we offer free food for those people who need food for their dogs.
Learn more about the program on the full special report at KMAS.com. For Thurston County.
Once have been injured in a car accident and the insurance company is not treating you fairly, then call me, Attorney Harold Carr. Don't be a victim of a negligent driver and then be victimized by the insurance company. My law firm has 6 locations and has handled more than 10,500 personal injury cases. We have 7 attorneys and 23 staff members dedicated to protecting your legal rights.
Car accident? Call Carr. HaroldCarrattorney.com. HaroldCarrattorney.com.
Edition it is. Well, you can find out on Talking Pets every weekend right here on KMAS. I'm here with special guests every week to discuss your concerns and answer your questions about the ones who love you the most, your pets. So sit back or pick up the phone and give us a call at 866-606-8255. That's Talking Pets every weekend right here on 1030 KMAS and FM 104.1.
Where did the time go? For News Radio 1030 KMAS Shelton.
Sands of an hourglass, Dale.
As your stomach turns. Before vehicle you use to catch our show?
I drove the Toyota in today.
Okay, very good. Platform, whatever platform. Whatever platform you're diving off of today, make sure there's water wherever you're diving. Jordan Spieth, Jeff, sets off on his quest for the British Open by playing with the guy he beat in the U.S. Open just these 2-3 weeks ago. Spieth is in a group with Dustin Johnson, DJ, who had a 12-foot eagle putt on the 18th at Chambers Bay to win the U.S. Open. Instead, 1, 2, 3 putted for par, one shot behind Jordan. Remember that?
I do.
All right. Hideki Matsuyama of Japan is the third player in the group. They tee off at 9:33 a.m. local time on Thursday. That's local St. Andrews, Scotland time. Tiger Woods going to the British Open. He's 2 groups behind with Louis Oosthuizen, who won this at St. Andrews, as a matter of fact, in 2010. And Woods won the 2 Opens before that on the old course. They'll be with Jason Day, who's recovering from symptoms of vertigo that he suffered at the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
But he's locked and loaded and ready to go. We'll give you guys previews and set the stage here for the British Open. Let's see, this was the one, I can't remember now, was it the 105th U.S. Open? I think this,
115.
115, and the British Open is the granddaddy. It's at like 125. It's like 10 years older than the U.S. Open. Something like that. We'll get an official count number for you here in just a little while. The Mariners close out the first half of the season, though it's not literally the first half. It's a few games longer than that. But it's the All-Star break, and they lose 10-3 to the LA Angels, who were inspired to win. Why? Because it was an opportunity for them to take over first place in the American League West, which has been held on to by those upstart Houston Astros since April the 17th. They've been in first place all alone. That changed yesterday. Astros lose their 6th in a row, and by golly, you take a look, and there's the Angels. They have managed to fight themselves up into the top slot in the AL West, and so they're feeling pretty good going into the All-Star break. Seattle still atop the standings in the Western Conference of the Major League Soccer, virtually tied, actually, with Vancouver's Whitecaps. Where's Portland? They are just in 4th place. They're right behind those guys, and so they have amassed a total of 31 points, while the leaders have 32. So really, basically, though, although in 4th, 3 teams ahead of them, they're all bunched up within 1 point.
There.
Yeah, pretty exciting, pretty good for Northwest soccer fans indeed. Over the weekend, the results, Portland shut out by Philadelphia, 3-0. Pretty ugly, actually, when you think about it. And Seattle got shut out as well by the Chicago Fire, 1-0. And Vancouver got shut out by Sporting Kansas City, 1-0. So all 3 Cascadia Cup teams, not a goal between them all weekend long. Pretty dismal weekend for soccer fans.
Sounds pretty dismal.
Yeah, goodness gracious. I'd say there's some more good news here over the weekend, but there wasn't. Seattle Storm lost for the 10th time in their last 11 games. And my gosh. And we don't have anybody to root for in the home run derby tonight. So sports suck today.
Yeah.
Oh, Marshawn Lynch was in a kickball tournament or something.
Sure he was.
And he knocked the ball out of the park. It was kind of like the big guy. Boom! So he boots the ball into orbit during a kickball match at a community barbecue down in Oakland.
Oh, wow.
Over the weekend. Twice. He hit it so hard it just went into orbit. It just went flying like from Oakland to San Francisco across the bay.
Made it over the bay.
Yeah, so that's kind of a fun story. All right, that's it. That's sports. Jimmy.
All right, good morning to you. 6:39 here, 61 and cloudy now. Let's see, the high yesterday was about 77. And we're going to see that today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday, the clouds should all burn away and leave us with another nice weekend here. Friday, 75, then in the mid-80s for Saturday and Sunday. And then off and on into the week after that. But 61 right now. Good morning to you.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line by email or Facebook. Now, from somewhere in the wilderness of the Olympic Peninsula, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
6:40 Monday morning. Monday. All right, it is the 13th of July, almost the halfway point of July.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like we just did the 4th. Seems like we just did the oyster.
I thought that too.
God, man. All right, be that as it may, I'm going to send you back to the 2011 tsunami in Japan. Still debris floating around from that.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about 4 years now. A massive cleanup is underway in Alaska. Tons of marine debris, some likely sent by sea from the tsunami, is set to be airlifted from rocky beaches and taken by barge for recycling and disposal in Seattle here. Hundreds of heavy-duty bags of debris collected in 2013 and 14 have been stockpiled at a storage site in Kodiak will also be shipped out. I mean, it just keeps building up, and they have to do something. So they garner it up. I mean, good on them. The Alaska people, they garner it all up and they put it somewhere. And then now they're going to bring it down to Seattle, which is a nice gesture.
Sure.
Thank you.
Bring it. I don't know where Bertha.
Somebody sent finally an explanation as to what happened with Bertha.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, we'll get to that. Yeah, somebody made some kind of a lame reason why, or what exactly happened, or what it took to fix it, or.
Oh, the other thing that happened
they still
on
don't
Friday
have a reverse on that thing.
Well, speaking of,
what happened on Friday?
They banged the gavel. The legislators left.
Well, they sure did. Nearly 6 months later.
Oh my God!
Back in business.
6 months. See you in a week. One of those things. That's pretty amazing.
Crazy. Yeah, it is amazing.
6 months.
It is amazing, and not in a fun way. Gosh.
Poor Natchez. Is that how you pronounce it?
Natchez,
Washington.
Yeah.
First off, in the spring, the hatchery over there, they're like, we're going to have to close because we don't have any money.
Yeah. And
now they're saying, we don't have any water.
Yeah. No money, no water, no hatchery.
Hatchery uses the river there, groundwater, the Natchez River groundwater pulled from an underground network of pipes and wells. Well, last week the pumps shut down because their well. Time in history.
The mountains. I mean, so this drought impacts places that you don't historically or traditionally think of as being impacted by a drought. There's always, there's no rain, but look at the mountains. They got snow.
Oh, there's snow on the mountains. Look how green it is.
Yeah, and there's always the big glacier lakes that you see and all that and stuff. But if you look close, you'll see that those glacier lakes are like 18 feet below their high mark water line.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is serious.
Wow.
Serious stuff.
So could they transport any fish in the hatchery here to our local hatcheries? I mean, like a suspended animation?
It's a great question. I guess it would depend on the age of the fish. Yeah, what's in it? It's a good question. I have no answer for you.
And I don't know what our hatchery levels are like.
Do we have capacity?
Yeah, we may not even have enough. Well, I'm going to do something I probably shouldn't here.
Oh, no.
I'm on the website, adoptapet.wa.org. And there's a little bit. Adam Click's going to have a report for us here. It looks like July 25th, their 7th annual Tee It Up for Dogs, Lake Limerick Golf Course, 9 a.m. shotgun start. I'm going to see what kind of dogs they have. That's not the thing I need to do.
You should not to go, and don't show me no pictures, or I'll be having to build a big. In fact, we were at Costco yesterday. And there's this kennel that was awesome. It was huge. It was as big as our studio with a roof.
What?
And then it had the screen fencing around the outside, but it had some mesh, dark mesh to keep the glare of the sun, keep it cool.
Wow.
It was a pretty fancy dancy
like
kennel. I said, boy, that would be pretty cool. Keep the dogs outside all the time. And she goes, and you. So
there's a couple great pets at Adopt a Pet up there. Off Mackenzie Road, I think.
If you're thinking about a pet, let us encourage you to go to Adopt a Pet. Get a homeless dog.
Dash is a cutie, a Bichon Frise and Jack Russell Terrier mix, a little small, little tiny white dog there.
We had 3 of those parked next to us, Coco, Riley, and myself, while we were waiting for Jerry to finish shopping yesterday. And so I had all 5 dogs singing at each other.
Oh, fun for you.
Then so I got their 3 dogs were all calm, and then my 2 dogs were all calm, and we're all listening to the Mariners. And then some guy comes by on a skateboard.
Oh, ruins it all.
There, Riley gets wound up, then sets off the other 3.
A report from Adopt a Pet's forthcoming. It's 6:46 at KMAS. Good morning, Dave.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news, connect with KMAS, and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch Daybreak live. Follow the link on KMAS.com or search KMAS Radio on YouTube.
With this KMAS special report, this is Adam J. Click. Today, I'd like to give special mention to Adopt a Pet in Shelton. Over the weekend, I met with one of the lead volunteers at Adopt a Pet, Oliver McHenry, and he told me a little bit about the program and what it is that they do.
We can accommodate about 30 dogs at any given time, and we adopted out 247 dogs last year. And we offer several programs. One is a spay-neuter program, which we will help pay for. We offer emergency medical, and we offer free food for those people who need food for their dogs. We're a no-kill shelter, and of course, being a no-kill, we've had Sam and Marty, our 2 old bachelors, for over 7 years. And one of the things that we try to do before we ever allow anybody to adopt, you have to complete an adoption form with us, and you would think you're adopting a child, because we ask a lot of questions. If you adopt a dog from us, and for any reason you can't take care of it, you don't like it to us.
Oliver explained that at Adopt a Pet in Shelton, the top priority really is the welfare of the animals. He said that with their spay and neuter program, it's their goal to literally work themselves out of a job with their dedication to keeping animal populations under control. But they can only have a hope of meeting these goals with the help of many dedicated volunteers.
We always need volunteers. We're an all-volunteer group. We have no paid staff of any kind. We have volunteers that do nothing but walk dogs. We have volunteers that do laundry. We have volunteers that clean the kennels. And they spend a lot of time with them socializing. Take them out in the play yard, play ball with them, find out if they like to play ball. You know, we don't ask for an 8-hour commitment. If you want to come once a month, once a week, whatever. And if you don't want to clean kennels, we'll find something for you to do.
And even though it's a volunteer organization, it's still a very expensive endeavor to see to the health and welfare of all these animals.
Our major expenses, our veterinary bill runs about $3,000 a month. Our dog food is about $700 a month. And our utilities are probably $700 to $800 a month. So those are the three majors. We have one-time expenses throughout the year, of course, of our insurance coverage, which is about $2,500 a year. That's probably the major expenses. It takes about $90,000 a year to run our operation, so we have several fundraising activities during the year. We start out the day before Mother's Day with our plant sale, which we have been holding at our community credit union, and then we do pictures with Santa early in December. Then we do 2 yard sales a year, one Memorial Day weekend and one Labor Day weekend, and they're good fundraisers for us. We do our golf outing in July, which will be the 25th of July this year at Lake Limerick. We ask for a $90 donation to play, and it includes your 18 holes, a golf cart, and a lunch, and some prizes.
And the personal satisfaction of contributing to such a wonderful cause. If you'd like more information about Adopt a Pet, you can read our full story on KMAS.com. For KMAS News Radio, this has been Adam J. Click with a special report.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I am your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Rick Riz from the Seattle Mariners, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on News Radio 1030 KMAS and FM 104.1.
Hey, thanks, Rick. You take yourself a couple days.
Take a few days off, Rick. Buddy.
You think he goes to the All-Star game, or does he stay far away from baseball?
I think there's been years when he did go to the All-Star game, but I don't know that it's a must on his list anymore. You know, you think of Rick Riz as a young kid because he was always Dave Niehouse's sidekick. But he's getting pretty long in the tooth, and he's been covering baseball for about 30 years now.
No, for sure.
So it's probably not as big of a special treat to him as it used to be. Although this year's All-Star game is in Cincinnati, and there's the Pete Rose has been invited to come out for introductions, and quite a bit of controversy circulating about him and his admittance to the World Series. I don't know if Rick Riz has had a chance to meet Pete Rose or not. I think I would take the trip on an opportunity to do that.
Just to see what was going on.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'd be surprised. I don't think he's as intense about all that as he used to be. How about you? Are you going to the All-Star game?
Nah.
I'm passing this year. This is the first time in a year that I've not gone.
Since you decided to pass?
Yeah.
Let's see. Coming up in just about 10 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so, we'll get a chance for you to be introduced to Sue Patterson, who is running for the Port of Shelton Commissioner 1 position. Tomorrow, the incumbent Tom Wallitner will be on the air, and then we'll move into the city of Olympia with some of the races that they've got going on, various port races there, Olympia Commission positions, and the Olympia Mayor spot. You can see, and a lot of folks already have, all the videos on our YouTube page, and you can find those links on KMAS.com, or just head over to YouTube and search for KMAS, and you'll see a bunch of the videos, not only from past Daybreak shows, including live today, but our candidate interviews, which are up there now and available for you to check out. One video we saw upwards of 80 views already. Pretty impressive.
Well, those fancy dancy folks there in Seattle, their mayor, they getting them $15 an hour jobs, and Tacoma, smaller. So the mayor in Tacoma is proposing a $12 minimum wage on the fall ballot to compete with a citizens initiative. Of course, citizens want $15 wages. Tribune reports that Mayor Marilyn Strickland's proposal will be discussed tomorrow by the city council, asking for a gradual increase to $12 an hour by the year 2018.
So if they both pass, is it $27 an hour?
Yes, it is. That's good math right there.
Wondering.
All right, Dateline Ephrata, Grant County Sheriff's Office says the body of a 34-year-old man reported missing in Park Lake near Sun Lake State Park has been found. The man was reported missing after jumping out of a moving boat. Not advised, by the way. Grant County authorities have identified the man as Robert Reddick of Olympia.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And up in the Bellingham area, Washington State DOT says crews are searching for a small private plane that didn't reach its destination in Linden on Saturday. The plane did not arrive, and family members notified authorities. All three occupants are all family members. Their names have not been released. No word on where they departed from, but it looks like they did not reach their destination, which was Linden.
Yeah. Microsoft will launch Windows 10.
July 29th.
Yes.
Is that when it is?
Yes. Good job.
I'm on it.
The upgraded operating system will allow users to switch seamlessly between personal computers, tablets, smartphones, and whatever gadget, whatever thing you got there in your pocket. Microsoft said today that Windows 10 will be available as a free upgrade for a limited time for anyone whose devices use Windows 8, 8.1, or 7, which are previous versions of the software. My question is, where's 9?
Yeah, what happened to 9? Well, what happened to 4, 5, and 6? We went from 3, 3.1 to XP.
Yeah, what's that mean? These are the questions that we want answers to. Doggone it.
I've signed up for this. Now, if you have a Windows 7, Windows 8, or 8.1 computer, like you do over there on your machine, if you look down in the bottom right corner, you see a Windows icon.
Yes.
4 little white squares.
Yeah, Windows 10.
That is the thing. As soon as that popped up on my machine at home, I did sign up for it. I figure, well, free.
Well, it's a good figure.
That's how I figure it. It's free, and if they're going to give it to me, I might as well take it rather than having to upgrade.
Now, do you have to have a touch screen to work this 10? Or?
Nah, it'll just be another. And I think that was the big problem when it went to 8. What is it moved into a touchscreen centric opening screen, and nobody had touch screens.
Yeah.
So the mouse
we were
thing.
touching the screen, but nothing was going on.
Come on. All right. Hey, 7 o'clock here. MAS.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
It may be an invented word, but there's hardly one that fits more perfectly for this time of year. All about cornscacious air today from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobites is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobites for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobites, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobites isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobites now. Call 800-478-9631 and get 2 bottles free. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-478-9631. That's 800-478-9631.
With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Monday, July 13th, the 194th day of the year. Actors Harrison Ford and Patrick Stewart are sharing a birthday. Faithful Almanac readers will be familiar with this phrase, cornscacious air is everywhere. For centuries, it appeared on our July calendar pages. You won't find cornscacious in the dictionary, but it's something most of us know by intuition. The hot and damp conditions are ideal for growing corn. And if you're growing your own sweet corn, here's a few signs it's ready for picking. The ears should be plump and full. The corn silk will turn brown. The end of the ears should feel rounded and not pointy. And piercing a kernel should produce a milky liquid. Clear liquid means it needs a little more time. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Find more seasonal advice at almanac.com.
Free Talk Live on weekdays from 6 to 9 on 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 104.1, and now in Thurston County on 92.9.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. The man known as the Osama bin Laden of drug trafficking is on the run again. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman slipped out of a maximum security Mexican prison
just now 60 years old, first broke out of a different maximum security prison in Mexico in 2001 and wasn't captured for 13 years. The Mexican government parading him in front of cameras, saying those famous last words, that he'd never escape again.
Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker is entering the presidential race by throwing an elbow at one of the frontrunners. In an online video, Walker calls Jeb Bush a leader from the past. ABC's Jonathan Karl says he has lots of company in the race.
This is an incredibly crowded field. We now have 15 Republican candidates, but if there is any one of them that could be seen as the front runner now, I would say it is Scott Walker. Take, for example, Iowa. Scott Walker has had a lead in Iowa, the very first voting, of course, in every poll since February.
His formal announcement comes tonight. A drag race turned deadly in North Carolina. Witnesses say two cars were racing when one driver lost control and plunged into a crowd of onlookers, killing 3 and injuring 4. The driver was arrested. The world is watching with cautious optimism for what happens next now that Greece has struck a tentative bailout deal with European Union leaders. Will voters approve it this time? The last time they rejected it. And this deal involves deeper cuts. But ABC's Rebecca Jarvis says after days of bank closures and overall financial panic, this may be different.
Analysts are looking at this as a total capitulation by Greece to creditor demands. Now, in exchange for spending cuts, pension cuts, and tax hikes, Greece gets the 86 billion euros it needs to stay in the euro.
At today's running of the bulls in Pamplona, Spain, 2 men were gored. Both were Spaniards. One was punctured in the leg and the other in the abdomen. This is ABC News.
There's a reason why so many celebrities use Proactive. Their faces are their money. And it's time for you to get it because Proactive has set up a special 800 number. For just $19.95, you'll get Proactive and a rotating deep cleansing brush. A $45 value, yours free. For only $19.95, you're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear or your money back. Here's the number, 1-800-644-5944. Call now for a lifetime of beautiful skin. 1-800-644-5944.
I'm Jay Farner with some great news on how you could save an average of $3,000 per year on your mortgage. Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. The HARP guidelines have changed. There's less paperwork and often no appraisal required. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN, or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. License law 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
It was a bad day at the beach for a woman in Rhode Island. ABC's Chuck Severson tells us she was injured badly in a still unexplained explosion.
The woman blasted into a rock wall and sent to the hospital after a mysterious explosion on a Rhode Island beach speaks. Kathleen Denise in Waterbury, Connecticut says she suffered only minor injuries. Would she go back?
We've been vacationing there for 30 years, and that was my favorite location. Until we know what actually happened, no.
Her sister, Laura DiMartino.
There was a huge blast. The rocks moved, shifted, and the explosion came almost simultaneous.
The investigators at the beach in Narragansett say it's still a mystery, though they say the blast was not man-made.
You can no longer find out who deleted you on Facebook. The new app that alerted users when friends dropped them from the social network has been pulled. The app developer says he closed up shop at Facebook's request. No word on why. It had soared to the top spot on iTunes after its debut, and because of its popularity, worked slowly at best. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
For KMAS Newsradio.com, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. A traffic reminder that Johns Prairie Road from approximately milepost 3.30, the old county shop, to milepost 3.77 at State Route 3 on County Road number 91720 will be closed today until 3 p.m., weather permitting. The closure is needed to have the road crew chip seal the roadway. Lacey police arrested a man Saturday night for stabbing another man in the chest. Police say an altercation at an apartment complex in the 5500 block of College Loop Southeast led to the stabbing. The victim was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was booked into the Thurston County Jail. The city of Shelton has begun a series of repairs to damaged sidewalks within city limits. Public Works Director Greg Clark told KMAS the city removed 10 to 12 trees along Old Olympic Highway last Thursday in front of the PUD power station. The trees were problematic in that they were planted under power lines and had grown to dangerous heights. In addition, the sidewalks were damaged by the tree roots, resulting in a trip hazard for walkers. In total, about 700 feet of sidewalk is being repaired as a result of the tree damage and removal. The plan is to landscape at this location with low-growing shrubs instead of trees to prevent future interference with the power lines. The city has 15 more sidewalk projects of this nature scheduled. The next project is on the opposite side of Olympic Highway in front of McDonald's. The city will announce future projects before they start to keep residents informed. The Super 8 Motel on College Street in Lacey reopened Friday after completing water treatment recommendations issued by the Thurston County Health Officer, Dr. Rachel Wood. The motel closed voluntarily on July 2nd due to an outbreak investigation of Legionnaire's disease. Legionnaire's disease is a serious form of pneumonia that is caused by Legionella bacteria, which is usually found in water. Prior to guests returning to the motel, treatment of the water supply system was recommended, focusing on the plumbing, ice machines, pool, and spa. County health officials verified that all of those recommendations were completed on July 10th. Shelton's Adopt-A-Pet Center has been responsible for the successful adoption of over 200 dogs per year for the last several years. KMAS spoke with Adopt-A-Pet member Oliver McHenry about the services offered by the program.
And we offer several programs. One is a spay-neuter program, which we will help pay for. We offer emergency medical, and we offer free food for those people who need food for their dogs.
Learn more about the program on the full special report at KMAS.com. For 1030 KMAS, FM 104.1, and in Thurston County on 92.9, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news, connect with KMAS, and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Like us on Facebook and get our local news right on your news feed. Facebook.com/1030KMAS.
Excuse me, ma'am.
We're trying to sleep here.
Yes, ma'am, but this isn't a motel. It's the Olympia Furniture Company showroom.
I just couldn't wait to try it out. I figure it's kind of like a test drive before you take the car home, right?
Here at Olympia Furniture Company, we offer home delivery. We'll even set it up for you.
But we kind of live far out in Mason County.
That's no problem. Let's ring you up so you can get home.
Oh, right. Well, he's a very hard sleeper. Do you think you could just put him in with the new furniture?
The Olympia Furniture Company delivers more than just furniture. They deliver quality, value, huge selection, and the occasional husband.
On Saturday night, Andrew McCutcheon walked the Pirates off with a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 14th inning to give the Bucks a 6-5 win over St. Louis. Sunday night, how about an encore? Hello, everyone. Dave Packer reporting on sports.
Swing and line drive! They've done it again! The place is a mob scene! It's chaos! Pandemonium! The Buccos have come back to beat the Cardinals!
The call on KDKA as Gregory Polanco's RBI single in the bottom of the 10th inning clinched the 6-5 comeback win. The Pirates took 3 of 4 from St. Louis and are heading to the All-Star break, only 2.5 games behind the NL Central leaders. And Novak Djokovic defeated Roger Federer 3-1 to win at Wimbledon.
You envision yourself being in the center court of the biggest tournament in sports and holding this trophy, so it's very thrilling feeling.
It's Djokovic's 3rd Wimbledon title of his career. Back to baseball. Kirk Neuenhuis cemented his name in Mets history on Sunday.
Neuenhuis hits one in the air to deep right field. It might go down the line towards the porch. Home run! He hit the screen. Kirk Neuenhuis has become the first Met ever to hit 3 home runs in a game at home.
The call on 710 WOR as the Mets win 5-3, completing the 3-game sweep of Arizona. The Mets have won 7 of their last 9 and now head into the All-Star break only 2 games behind the Nationals in the NL East and 1 game behind the Cubs for the second wildcard spot. Masters and U.S. Open champion Jordan Spieth was victorious yet again on Sunday. Spieth beat Tom Gillis on the second hole of a playoff to win the John Deere Classic, capturing his 4th win of the season. Next up, the British Open.
I'm really excited to get over there. Not much sleep. I'll get out and get on St. Andrews and see if we can make some minor adjustments and maybe have the same outcome.
The 144th British Open begins July 16th. Dave Packer, ABC Sports.
For News Radio 1030 KMAS, Shelton FM 104.1, 92.9 FM, Thurston County. And we are streaming online, and that is audio and video, KMAS.com. Hi, everybody. Say hi to Jeff.
Hi.
All right, very good. First half of the Major League season came to an end last night, as you just heard. And that means it's almost time for the All-Star game. In fact, the Midsummer Classic will be tomorrow night in Cincinnati, where tonight it is some of the biggest hitters in the game taking part in the home run derby. Just a slight change from years past where if you hit 3 shankers, you were out. Now you got 5 minutes just to hit as many home runs, hit as many shankers as you want. But if you get clear the fence, you count them up, 5 minutes, 2-man races back and forth, 3 groups of 2, something, and then you'll see. No Mariners in the home run derby, by the way. Checking the standings in baseball at the halfway mark of the season shows these teams on top in the American League. The Yankees leading the way in the East. How often do we say that?
The Yankees leading in the East.
More times than not, I'd venture to say in the last 15 years. More times than not.
Yeah, you're probably right, but seems like Toronto is always a good team. And then there was that run of Boston.
But Toronto never gets to the final push. Boston is always there banging around. Toronto's been stirring the pot. And over in the Central, how about those Royals? They've got like everybody on their team is in the All-Star game. They're tops in the Central. The LA Angels, the number 1 team in the West. Houston Astros let it slip. They were number 1 since April the 17th and have lost 6 in a row. And maybe the wheels are coming off there. The Mariners sure hope so. And in the National League, it's the Washington Nationals leading the East. How often have we said that? Not very often. St. Louis in the Central. Yeah, Cardinals are always there. And the Dodgers out west. And the Dodgers perennial powerhouses as well. Enjoy your All-Star break, everybody. Post-Wimbledon player rankings have been released, and the 2 winners in London are both number 1 for the women. Of course, that means Serena Williams and Maria Sharapova ranked 2nd. Men, Novak Djokovic, and number 1 is Roger Federer is number 2, the man he beat on Sunday. And Jordan Spieth, 21 years old. He went back to his first win, which was the John Deere Classic, 2 years ago yesterday when he was 19. He got his first PGA win. Then he was kind of quiet. And then along came the Masters, where he broke scoring records and walked away with the Masters Championship. Then came the U.S. Open, where he got a run for his money from Dustin Johnson, DJ. Oh, he won that too. Kind of got lucky, but he won.
Those two sound way better than the John Deere Open.
Yeah, John Deere's not. John Deere Classic is mainly set up for people to qualify for the British Open if they're like they haven't qualified on any of the other criteria. And now Jordan Spieth is looking for his 3rd jewel in the Grand Slam of tennis or of golf. That would be the Open. The Open is the British Open, and It goes back to St. Andrews, Scotland, the birthplace, the cradle of golf.
Literally,
where there's been a lot of history made. And Jordan Spieth, it's not missed on him. He's young, but he has a handle and an understanding of golf. And he'll be the first one since Tiger Woods in 2002 to be able to have a chance. And will not be able to defend his title at the British Open.
Yeah, he's still not feeling well?
No. A ruptured Achilles tendon will pretty much do
That's
that
what
for
it
you.
was? That's
well,
what
it's not. It's an ankle tendon, but it's ruptured. And it's in that whole neighborhood right there.
Oh, my gosh.
So he's done for as far as golf goes for the near future. That is sports notes for you this time around. And Jeff Slakey, mid to upper 70s, I can live with that. That's perfect.
Perfect, about what it was yesterday, actually. And good morning to you. It's 7:15 here at KMAS. I had a little bit of rain overnight. My car and the front yard all had water, but not too much. And then it was raining on my way in. However, not much of that here in Shelton. It's 61 currently outside, 77 today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday with some clouds. The clouds are going to burn away for Friday and leave us with a beautiful weekend. 61 right now. 7:16 at KMAS. Time for us to continue our candidate interviews, and you can see all of them on our KMAS.com voters guide under the news tab at 2015 Voters Guide. Now here running for the Port of Shelton Commission position 1, Sue Patterson.
On our continuing series of candidate interviews, we welcome running for Port of Shelton Port Commissioner position 1, a nonpartisan 4-year term, Sue Patterson. Sue, welcome.
Thank you.
Our first question out of the gate to all the candidates. What's your platform?
Well, my platform is about the size of a pallet board. It's, but 3 things, I think. First would be transparency in the port, making sure that the public knows what's happening, has a chance to comment on what's happening. I think that I can help expand that in the port as a member of the commission. Second is getting the public to communicate with the port, and I would be available to meet with anyone anytime to listen to the community, what their concerns, and another way we could do that is using the port newsletter to let people know ahead of time what's going on. Third would be maximizing our land use. We have some valuable property. You see a vision where the port is a major partner in the community doing good with the tax dollars and helping the economy thrive.
Sue, why did you decide to run this year?
I decided to run this year because I am a member of this community, and I think anyone who can run should serve. I have a very strong belief in serving the community. 15 years ago, I was sitting in this very room doing promos for Fantasy Forest for Mason General Hospital, so I have a history of serving the community, donating my time. I've been listening to people as an employee at Sage Bookstore. We get a lot of opportunity to hear what people think. They sit down, have a cup of coffee, and you hear what they think. Yes. And so I think I have a pulse of what the community wants and how they feel about port issues. And the fact that the store is not open gives me added time to serve and to do what's necessary to be a port commissioner. So that's pretty much why this year is the year.
Give us a reason, Sue, why voters should pick you over your opponent?
I have met Mr. Walletner a couple of times, and he seems to be a very nice man, and certainly I appreciate the service that he's given. I have different abilities, different strengths to offer. I think that I'm probably more creative, more positive, and more energetic as far as the needs of the position. I have had a boat in the marina for about almost 20 years, and I have seen things happen and am in touch with what's happening at the marina, which is 1/3 of the port's properties. And that's not necessarily my focus, but I do think that we need to make sure that all the properties get equal treatment and the opportunity to expand and contribute to the port efficiency as well. And I've had 25 years as a landlord and small business owner, and so I think I bring those features to the race as well.
Finally, Sue, what would you consider the most pressing or important issue for the voters this year?
Are you asking me for the voters in general or for the port race?
I would consider the port race.
I think that the future of the port is the most pressing issue. We need commissioners, and I have a very good working relationship with Christy Buck and Dick Taylor. I've known them for years. I think it's important that we have a commission that is forward-thinking, that is committed to building the economy at the port, and that is going to see that the tax dollars that are spent at the port are wisely managed and efficiently used.
Running for Port of Shelton Port Commissioner position 1, Sue Patterson. Sue, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Paul, looks like we're coffee twins. We both got McCafes. Oh, you mean my Bean Brew? Yeah, your fresh brewed McCafe coffee. No, I think you mean my Mojo. My Java, my Morning Joe. Okay, I get it. You want to use coffee slang. Well, let's drink this toasty roasty, Joe, bro. Whoa, Tom. Don't get all weird on me. My bad.
Whatever you call it, you'll love a rich, smooth, fresh brewed McCafe coffee from McDonald's. And now get any size McCafe coffee for just $1.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
A la carte only. Prices and participation may vary. Limited time offer. This is the sound of a Minion. This is the sound of a Minion peeling back a Minion Mania Instant Win food prize game piece at McDonald's. And this is the sound of you winning $250,000 in the Minion Mania online sweepstakes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
When it comes to joy, we all speak the same language. This summer, if you're 13 or older and a U.S. resident, come play Minion Mania at McDonald's. You can play in the restaurant only until August 3rd. And check out the new movie Minions only in theaters. No purchase necessary, void or prohibited. Official rules in restaurant and at minions@mcd.com.
Alderbrook Properties present Golf Balls from Heaven. It's all part of the 5th annual Love Inc. Golf Tournament Ball Drop and Auction, Monday, July 20th at Alderbrook Golf Course. For a $10 donation, you'll have a golf ball dropped on the 18th hole from a helicopter donated by Olympic Air. 10 cash prizes will be awarded for the balls closest to the pin. A hole-in-one will pay out $2,000. Proceeds go to Benefit Love Inc., mobilizing local churches to assist people in need. Last year, over 20 area churches helped out over 2,000 people. Call Love Inc. today. They'll arrange to pick up your donation. 360-462-LOVE. 462-5683. Donations are tax deductible. Call for a ball today. 462-LOVE. And come on out for the big drop on Monday, July 20th. Golf balls from heaven.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email, or Facebook. Now, from the capital of the great state of Washington, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
Yeah, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here, 7:24. And tomorrow, during our candidate interviews, just after the 7 o'clock news, current Port of Shelton Commissioner in the 1st District, Tom Wallitner, will be on the air with us. You can check out the video voters guide online now. Under KMAS.com, click the news tab and find 2015 voters guide. That's got all the, careful there. Okay.
There was the left kneecap.
We all heard that one.
I just got kneecapped.
That's where you can find all the candidate interviews on the website, KMAS.com. Some other stories that people are talking about here is this alcohol impact area, a good fit for Shelton, and people have put comments on that, not only on our Facebook page, facebook.com/1030KMAS, but also on the website. People having some good conversations here, and looks like we have updated our comment software.
What?
Well, you can.
Okay.
It just makes it looks like it's easier to. Well, first off, it looks like we've changed it so it's oldest to youngest regarding the reports, because someone will go, "Yeah, that was a great comment," but it was on page 3. You have to go way back to find out. So now you can see the first comment and then people's replies to that, making it even easier for these
good
conversations. So
logical order of sequence.
Wow, what are the odds?
Yeah. And by the way, have we mentioned the date of the forum? This morning.
I mean, I know it.
Yeah, July 23rd, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Thursday night. It'll be a week from this coming Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be at the Public Works facility, and we will be with nearly 20 candidates from around Mason County with some very important races, a couple of city races, the port race. The school board has 10 candidates running for 4 positions.
Wow.
So it'll be a fun night, and we're very excited about that. And the vetting process for the questions that will be asked of the candidates, you are invited as listeners to the morning show or to the radio station, as viewers of our website, as friends on our Facebook page, all of you invited to send in questions to the candidates, and we will process all of those. We don't want to repeat the same question all night long, so we're going to make sure to go through them, make sure they're pertinent, they're not personal attacks, they're not singling anybody out for something, but we are going to ask some good, in-depth questions that have a lot of meat to them, and we have a lot of folks involved in that process, including the Government Affairs Committee through the Chamber, Shelton Chamber of Commerce. We want to thank them for their participation, as well as a few other volunteers that have stepped forward and asked to help out in that process, just to keep everything on an even keel.
Sure. So
that's pretty exciting stuff.
I got some questions for them.
I'll bet you do. Well, it's a forum, so that'll be a good venue for that. 7:27. We'll have news coming up at 7:30 this morning. It is the 13th day of July. Frank Sinatra made his first record on this date, 1939.
Wow.
It was not a big hit. From the Bottom of My Heart was the A side. The B side was Melancholy Mood.
I don't know about those songs.
And after that first record, they're going, "Are you sure this guy's going to be like a heartthrob? He's skinny and he got that big Adam's apple bobbing."
And then he goes, "Just look out the window to my buddies." And there's like 3 guys with no necks and pipes.
Mafioso.
Oh no, he's great. Sign him up,
Frankie, my man.
68, great.
Oh.
Imagine. Well, I mean, you don't have to.
It's the theme to my generation.
I can only imagine what it would be like to live in the summer of 68. The sun is shining, and all of a sudden, Steppenwolf comes on the radio. Born to be Wild. What a song.
The anthem to my generation,
I'm
right
sure.
There. Yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt. I believe I watched Easy Rider in a theater in Ellensburg, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
A little hazy in those days, but I think that's the first time I saw Easy Rider. I do remember that particular showing. It wasn't the last time that I saw Easy Rider, certainly, but it was the first time. And that was good stuff. Born to be Wild by Steppenwolf, and oh man, off and running we went. There our baby boomer generation got a jump shot right there. All right. And other events that have happened on this date in history, we're going to go way back. at the beginning of the French and Indian War, when George Washington surrendered the small circular Fort Necessity to the French, thus by saying, well, it wasn't really that big of a necessity.
We don't need it that much.
So again, we don't really need Fort Necessity, but it's a necessity. No, let the French have it.
Congress in 1787, under the Articles of Confederation, enacted the Northwest Ordinance, which established the rules for governing us here out in the Northwest Territory.
Way out there.
For admitting new states to the Union and limiting the expansion of slavery.
Yeah, way out there.
Do you have a problem with... I sometimes have a problem with Northwestern University.
Yes.
Being in the Midwest.
It took me a long time to figure that one out. I kept looking for Northwestern University around here when I was growing up. No, it was Northwestern Illinois.
I mean, that was the Northwest when it was founded.
Of the country, yeah. It's crazy. Crazy. All right, news is coming up, 7:30.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
For KMASNewsRadio.com, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. A traffic reminder that Johns Prairie Road from approximately milepost 3.30, the old county shop, to milepost 3.77 at State Route 3 on County Road number 91720 will be closed today until 3 p.m., weather permitting. The closure is needed to have the road crew chip seal the roadway. Lacey police arrested a man Saturday night for stabbing another man in the chest. Police say an altercation at an apartment complex in the 5500 block of College Loop Southeast led to the stabbing. The victim was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was booked into the Thurston County Jail. The city of Shelton has begun a series of repairs to damaged sidewalks within city limits. Public Works Director Greg Clark told KMAS the city removed 10 to 12 trees along Old Olympic Highway last Thursday in front of the PUD power station. The trees were problematic in that they were planted under power lines and had grown to dangerous heights. In addition, the sidewalks were damaged by the tree roots, resulting in a trip hazard for walkers. In total, about 700 feet of sidewalk is being repaired as a result of the tree damage and removal. The plan is to landscape at this location with low-growing shrubs instead of trees to prevent future interference with the power lines. The city has 15 more sidewalk projects of this nature scheduled. The next project is on the opposite side of Olympic Highway in front of McDonald's. The city will announce future projects before they start to keep residents informed. The Super 8 Motel on College Street in Lacey reopened Friday after completing water treatment recommendations issued by the Thurston County Health Officer, Dr. Rachel Wood. The motel closed voluntarily on July 2nd due to an outbreak investigation of Legionnaire's disease. Legionnaire's disease is a serious form of pneumonia that is caused by Legionella bacteria, which is usually found in water. Prior to guests returning to the motel, treatment of the water supply system was recommended, focusing on the plumbing, ice machines, pool, and spa. County health officials verified that all of those recommendations were completed on July 10th. Shelton's Adopt-A-Pet Center has been responsible for the successful adoption of over 200 dogs per year for the last several years. KMAS spoke with Adopt-A-Pet member Oliver McHenry about the services offered by the program.
And we offer several programs. One is a spay-neuter program, which we will help pay for. We offer emergency medical, and we offer free food for those people who need food for their dogs.
Learn more about the program on the full special report at KMAS.com. For 1030 KMAS, FM 104.1, and in Thurston County on 92.9, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Is your family doing some growing? Whether it's an expansion of your home or the addition of a new family car, Peninsula Credit Union can provide fast, friendly service with terrific rates. We offer personal lines of credit, affordable auto loans, and a variety of home loan options to get you moving. Visit our offices. Credit Union, our priority is you.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
World Fast for Peace.
There's never going to be any peace. It sounds like you're a flower
Anyone,
child. You're pumped up
any
on
woman
drugs.
who doesn't agree with you is on drugs or something.
You're one of those love mankind, love thy neighbor.
She is interested in peace, and I like that. Free Talk Live, weeknights from 6 to 9 on KMAS News Radio.
For News Radio 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 104.1, 92.9 FM Thurston County, and online streaming audio and video this morning on KMAS.com. A night of home runs tonight as it's the Home Run Derby. The first half of the Major League season came to an end last night, and the Mariners were on the butt end of a 10-3 final. You know what chin that is. And split their series with the Angels and limp into the All-Star break in not last place, but not far from it, as they and Oakland are battling out for the bottom slot. Big movement at the top, though. For the first time since April the 17th, the Angels did overtake Houston, who is in a 6-game losing streak right now, and that was the first time they've relinquished first place in nearly 3 months. So there's still a battle going on at the top of the AL West. Unfortunately, Seattle is not involved in that right now. They've got a lot of work to do, and maybe even more than working on making the playoffs, which you would think is going to be their public priority. The behind-the-scenes priority is to try to keep Lloyd McClendon. If they bomb again this year, you know, somebody's got to go, and you don't change the roster. You always change the coach.
Always change the coach.
And I personally like Lloyd McClendon. He's a good coach, and I think he's inspirational. I think he's got the right stuff to make that franchise a success. Nobody can come up with the answers here. These guys on paper are loaded.
Yeah.
And it's maybe the biggest question. Nobody cares about Seattle like Seattle fans. But Major League Baseball, you look at the teams that are underperforming going into the season, and Seattle's got to be the number one underperforming team in majors this year. I mean, they are not doing what was expected. And then it gets to be a head trip after that, So now you got to shake that off. Maybe this 4-day break is just the medicine needed to get Seattle to turn it around. We can certainly hope so. Felix is heading to the big show. And so is not Robinson Cano. His poster's staring at me. Nelson Cruz.
Yes.
Nelson Cruz is heading to the big All-Star game. So both those guys are playing. And Lloyd is a manager in the All-Star game this year as well. It's going to be played in Cincinnati. And they will roll out some of the past Cincinnati greats. When you talk about Cincinnati greats, you talk about Mr. Hustle. Pete Rose will be introduced to the fans at the All-Star game. First time in about 26 years that he's got to be Major League Baseball for all intents and purposes for gambling. And new revelations came out here recently that he not only gambled when he was the manager of the team, but he had a little gambling problem while he was a player as well.
Yeah, he did.
I told Jerry yesterday, I says, I can guarantee you he never gambled against his team. You know what I'm saying? He never said, we're going to lose.
No.
Every single bet he ever made, and I don't know that to be a fact, certainly, but
if you
know Pete Rose.
Yeah, if you've got a little bit of time today, you can go on YouTube and watch him running.
Yes.
Nobody is going to throw themselves at the bases.
Play with that fervor.
And then be accused of like throwing a game.
Yeah.
It's not like the Black Sox scandal.
No. There's no way to construe his efforts in a negative way, that he didn't try, that he tried to throw a game with the same fervor that he tried to win. Every game he played in his entire career was like the 7th game of a World Series.
Yeah, he was leaving it all out there.
Every day. So that's my take. That's my soapbox. I'll step down now. Weather?
Sure. South Sound forecast is 7:39 here at KMAS. 62 out there right now. We're expecting it to be about the same as yesterday, mid to upper 70s. More of that tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, into the Friday and the weekend. We'll be back up into the 80s. It's 62 right now at 7:39.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now from the shores of Hood Canal, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
7:40 here at KMAS, KMAS.com. Good morning to you.
Oh, good morning to you.
Oh, my goodness. 1977 on this day. Imagine you're in the heart of the city.
Wow.
Is this the summer of Sam in 77?
I'm going to go yes with you on this.
All right. So there was a blackout in New York City lasting 25 hours. Back in 1977.
Lots of looting.
And if I remember correctly, and this is all from historical reading, that was like the summer of Sam, and that was the serial killer who got his marching orders from a dog, wasn't it?
Yeah, a dog told him to do it, which was at least creative.
Yeah, some sort of it. During the summer of 77. Yeah, so that was going on now.
Yeah, that blackout in the New York City area, 25-hour blackout, and there was looting and chaos in New York City. And so the byline from that was, well, imagine if the whole country were to be blacked out, and oh man, what chaos would ensue. And so people were taking measures to assure that this kind of behavior didn't happen again.
Mm-hmm.
I think they made inroads in that direction. Lee Iacocca fired as president of Ford Motor Company on the state in 1978. And he says, okay, fine. I still think I've got this thing figured out. I'll go over to Chrysler for $1 a year.
Yeah.
And show you. And he did. He picked Chrysler up off the gutter and put them back as a formidable player in automotive sales. And Lee Iacocca, pretty sharp guy when it came to managing finances for big automobile companies. But he was fired from Ford, and I don't know what that says about Ford.
Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those big companies do fire folks that turn out to be very good, like when Apple fired Steve Jobs the first time.
Jeff Gillooly.
Yeah, I know that name.
Excuse me. Sentenced to 2 years in prison for his part in the Nancy Kerrigan kneecapping. Speaking of being kneecapped, Gillooly, the ex-husband of Tanya Harding, our little ballerina ice skater there from Portland. Delicate little flower that she is.
She's from Battleground.
Oh, is she? From Battleground, Washington?
Washingtonian.
Okay.
She just practiced in
Portland.
The closest was the Lloyd Center.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
Some other stuff going on.
Anything else going on exciting?
Yeah, not really.
I was going to go take a look at, see how some of today's headlines, like Greece over the weekend, and then that Kingpin El Chapo.
Oh my gosh, that guy.
A mile tunnel dug.
How long has he been in?
His whole 18 months, 10, something like that.
So it took
10 months, 18 months.
So that's how long it
18
took
months, I think.
To build a mile-long tunnel.
Yeah.
They should hire the guys who did that for
biggest drug kingpin in the history of drug kingpins from Mexico. And they arrested him. They got him, and they go, oh, we got him in the best maximum security prison in the country.
Ain't ever getting out of
He'll
here.
never get out of there. And U.S. kept saying, you better move him up here because he's going to break out down there. Oh, no. So they dug a tunnel, much like his network of tunnels that he had under his own place. Yeah. A mile away, a house under construction, nondescript. There it is. Oh, yeah, they've been working on it for about a year. I don't know.
Amazing.
And out he goes, and he's gone. He's in the wind.
I remember when they caught him a few years back, and they said, oh, my gosh, we found him. And they thought he was wearing a mask the whole time. And he is just, is like the short one. Is what his nickname
El
means.
Chapo means the short one. He's not
like
very tall.
So...
the drain, the shower, or the hole that he snuck out of the tunnel.
And this is his second escape.
Yeah. Yeah. He was in prison before.
Amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing. It's amazing. So that's one of the big stories this morning is his escape, and he's still running around somewhere.
In 2001, he escaped in a high-security prison in a laundry cart.
Yeah.
And it took him 13 years to catch him.
Yeah.
Sleeping at a Mexican beach resort.
Yep.
Wow.
That is pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. And the tunnel ended at the shower of the guy's cell in a 20 by 20 in the shower.
Yeah.
It's like you said. That is amazing.
So there it is. And, he'll get caught again or whatever, but pretty fascinating.
It really is. And then, Grace, you mentioned something was going on there. They took the bailout deal reached on Greek bailout, sounds like.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Stemming off for the time.
Some higher taxes, some more cuts in social services to get the money. Boy, Greece, Angela Merkel is getting tore up over this one. The big concern that a lot of folks had, and they go, well, what's the dilly, yo? We forgave your debt, Greece or Germany. Greece gave you bailout money back in World War I and stuff like that.
Yeah. Short memories.
Very short memories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some laws that they have that perhaps are unworkable, but it just seems like you're all in the EU and you're all trying to get this thing to work.
And these things don't just pop up out of nowhere. I mean, these things build. It's not like they didn't know what the consequences of their actions were going to be for the last couple of years.
15 now, Dale? It's the number of Republican candidates running.
I understand.
Scott Walker.
Scott Walker threw his hat in the overcrowded ring.
Mark McDougall's on one. He's wanting to chime in. You guys wanted some background?
Oh, I think, he probably wrote the escape plan for El Chapo.
What line is that? 1, 2? Who are we talking with?
Mark McDougall,
Hi.
Model T Pub and Eatery.
Oh, my goodness.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Mark.
Invented the Mustang.
What? Who what?
Lee Iacocca for Ford?
He invented the Mustang?
The Falcon base. And then I don't know if he got fired or he quit, but he wanted to build a minivan. And
you're kidding.
He wanted something with front wheel drive.
Yeah.
There'd be no hump.
Yeah.
In the rig, and low enough to get into a standard garage, and Ford wouldn't do it.
Wow. And the Chrysler had the big minivan craze. They started it.
Yeah.
Well, what he did, he went to Chrysler.
Yeah.
And he went to Reagan, and Ronald Reagan gave him a Chrysler loan because they were going to go belly up, basically.
Yeah.
And he invented the minivan, and that caught Chrysler out of the hole, kept them survived, and the minivan craze is what it is today.
Yeah, that is a great add-on to that story. I had no idea. They said that he was fired by Ford in our AP prep page, but who knows what happened behind closed doors.
Yeah, and I can't confirm or deny that, but I know he went to, that was his thing. He wanted to do the minivan.
Huh. Oh, man. Well, hey, thanks for the insight on that, and that's automotive history.
Your show. Catch you later, guys.
All right. Talk to you soon. All right, my friend.
We got smart listeners.
Yeah, we do. That was a good insight on that one. And yeah, the minivan is awesome.
I'm still trying.
I've had a couple of them.
I'm still trying to get Stephanie to get
her over.
I'm like,
come over to the dark side. Come on, Stephanie.
Try this.
She'd like it. She would.
I know. That's what I tell her.
Such ease in and out.
7:48 here at KMAS. We'll take a quick break. Be right back after this. Good morning.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Women have healthcare needs that are quite different from men, and throughout the various stages of life, their medical needs change. Mountain View Women's Health exclusively serves the medical needs of women of all ages. With 2 board-certified obstetrician gynecologists and specialized clinical staff, they provide expert care in a broad range of women's fertility, menopause, and care beyond. At Mountain View Women's Health, it's women only. For an appointment, call 426-0955.
Mountain View Women's Health is part of Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider. Translation services provided.
Mason General and family of clinics. Whoa!
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
What's a lever action? What's a pump? What's an automatic? What's a bolt action? How do these things work? What's a magazine? What are all these terms everybody's using? Hi, folks. I'm Tom Gresham, and I invite you to join me as we answer these and other questions on Gun Talk. Gun Talk is the only show out there about gun rights, collecting, personal defense, sport, and recreational shooting. And, of course, we never forget about safety on Gun Talk.
Sundays, noon to 3 on KMAS News Radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Good morning, this is Jim Morrell from Peninsula Credit Union, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on News Radio 1030 KMAS.
Good morning to you. About 10 to 8 here at KMAS.
Yes, it is, and we are pleased to be visited in studio with Patricia Grover, who is a coordinator for the Noxious Weed Board for Mason County.
That's correct.
Did I
Good
get that
morning.
right?
You did.
Patricia,
Yeah,
good morning. How are you?
I am well, thank you. It's cloudy, it's cool. The weeds aren't growing quite as fast today, so I can come in.
Yes, tansy ragwort, and this is their time of year for tansy ragwort, and this is a noxious weed. Is this not true?
It is a noxious weed, and tansy ragwort is on the scene about 3 weeks early this year.
Is it the same as Scotch broom?
No,
Okay.
Scotch broom was on the scene 2 months ago.
Well, it seems like it's perpetual, but
It's same in the fact that they're both yellow.
they're both yellow, but that's where the similarities stop, right?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Talk to us about tansy ragwort.
Well, tansy ragwort is a biennial plant, which means it takes 2 years from the time it germinates to the time it produces a seed.
Mm-hmm.
And it is blooming now. It's bright yellow. There's also some other yellow plants that are blooming along our roadways. It is dangerous for livestock owners and hay growers because it does contain an alkaloid that is toxic to livestock.
Yeah.
So as a result, we really don't want to see it adjacent to our pastures. We really would like to not see it in Mason County at all.
Sure.
But it's here. And so we're encouraging property owners and residents, visitors, anybody to cut it, bag the seed heads, pull the plant, and do whatever you can to just reduce the amount of seed that's produced.
We have to physically remove the plant from the area. You're not recommending us spraying anything on it, is that?
There are people that will spray. We do some spray applications in various sites. It's a little late to be doing the spraying. That should have been done earlier in the year. So at this point, your best bet is to just cut the seed heads or the flowers off, put those in a bag, send that out with the trash. You can pull the plant parts. Problem with tansy is if there's a little bit of root left, that could possibly regrow and you're going to have it right back next year.
You got to get in there really deep. You can't mow over it.
Mowing actually might turn it into almost a perennial. So if you mow it and walk away, it'll regrow and probably still flower.
Oh, man.
I went out into my field the other morning. It's like, where did you come from? I'm the weed coordinator here. You can't be a tansy ragwort growing on my property.
Yeah.
So they just sneak in. So you want to be vigilant. You want to walk your property. And if you're out walking, taking a walk, getting some exercise, take a garbage bag with you and don't hesitate to pull one.
So if it's a biennial, so did we see this last year?
You saw the basil rosette. There's some botanical terms with this job. And so it's just a small leafy base that's kind of purplish, and that's what you would have seen last year. You might not have picked it out unless you were a botany type and looking for different type leaves.
So if we're looking to the yard, whatever you can to get the full root structure out.
Correct.
Now, after the summertime, or when a proper time to spray, if that's the route you want to take, is that
It's been spring when we have some dry days. The temperature is warmer. And then you're actually just wanting to treat that basil rosette. So you're really treating a very small part of the plant at that point.
Is that basil rosette kind of a stay close to the ground, flat as it grows out?
Yes.
Grows flat to the ground?
Yeah, typically,
I think I've seen those.
Typically tansies 6 inches, 12 inches, and then we see some great big ones sometimes. So depending on where they're growing, how much water they're getting, how much fertilizer.
And it can be just about anywhere. However, the spores got up into the air and landed wherever, or are we likely to see it more on roadways or what?
Like a lot of the noxious weeds, it likes disturbance, it likes sun. So you're going to find it in areas that experience both of those. Roadways are common, pastures that are overgrazed, along fence lines where they're not being mowed, that kind of thing. And that's produced by seed, not by spores. And they're a wind-carried seed. So, they can kind of find their way a fair distance, and there's thousands of seeds that are produced by every plant. So by deadheading them, you're really reducing the amount of seed that's produced.
Just looking at your brochure, and you give us 2 really nice pieces of some periodicals here, and looking at this adult ragwort seed fly. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how that helps?
Well, there's a flea beetle.
A beetle. Okay.
A beetle.
All right.
That actually feeds primarily on the rosettes in the fall, and it's kind of a little golden-colored beetle. It's about the size of a pinhead. It's tiny, tiny, and it just basically chews away at the leaves, and so reduces the vigor of the plant. So in the fall, if you see little shot holes in the leaves of your tansy ragwort, that's likely what's feeding on them. Some people will say, well, how about the cinnabar moth larva, which is a black and kind of reddish color, orange colored larva. They used to release those. There's actually a biocontrol program where they release insects to control noxious weeds, tansies among them. They are no longer releasing that, but you'll still see those out and about, and people send photos. And
is there a chemical that we can use that would have a shop name or a commercial name that we'd recognize that would be recommended by the board here?
I think that if a person has particular concerns, because herbicides are so based on the target, the time, and the place, that it would be best to have a discussion with that property owner as to what they're using and where they're located. So I don't really want to provide a broad spectrum control method.
Okay. Patricia, tell us so tansy ragwort is our big issue today.
It is a issue today.
And it is 2 months earlier than normal.
About a month.
Okay, about a month early. Is it because of the dry weather? Is that why? Or
I think the dry weather and the heat, we're finding that with all of our plants. They just participate in the Master Gardener Garden Tour. this weekend, and everybody was lamenting, my garden looks so much different than it would typically look at this time of the year, and the heat and the sun and is just making all the plants behave differently. So yes.
Unusual for all of us, including the plants.
The plants, the people, we're all kind of getting used to sort of that Northern California climate that we seem to be experiencing for the last month. So it's been nice for some of us, but for those of us that do weed control, it's really accelerated our season. So,
are there some other weeds we should be aware of here as we move through the summer months?
Actually, there's two that I really would like property owners to be on the lookout for. One is giant hogweed. We just finished up a grant-funded project controlling giant hogweed in the county, and if there's any left out there, they're a plant with a large white umbrella-type flower that grows 10 to 12 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
And that's the one that has the sap. If you get the sap on your skin exposed to the sun, it can burn.
Oh, wow.
Actually, like that.
Okay. All right.
And so that's when the other one is poison hemlock. And both of those are in the carrot family. So they both have a tall white flower. And the poison hemlock is blooming now. It's also a 2-year plant. We don't know that we have it in any more than about 5 sites. So for our program, we're a small program. We're a young program. We really work on early detection, rapid response. We just found poison hemlock down by the Park and Ride on the Shelton-Matlock Road. And we got on it and pulled it, bagged it. And so we're hoping that we don't have a recurrence there, that we got it as a first occurrence.
Quickly, and I know we're bumped up against time here, our pets, are they attracted to any of these noxious weeds, and can they be, like fatal to them?
Poison hemlock is certainly one that would be fatal. I don't know if your pets would be attracted to it, but a lot of the plants, noxious weeds and other plants, are toxic to animals. So it's the kind of field of interest where you should know kind of what your animals are exposed to, and houseplants as well, not just noxious weeds.
Right.
So you want to be vigilant of what you have in your yard. If something new shows up, find out what it is. The Extension Office has their Master Gardener Clinic from 12 to 3, and you can always send me a photo or bring something in.
Great idea.
You can't deal with something if you don't know what it is. So ID is really important.
It really, truly is. Yeah, that is very important stuff. Patricia Grover, we're a little out of time. Sorry about that, because this is a great topic.
Jerry and I were catching up.
Okay. Yes, for sure. Well, we'll get you back in here to talk more about this, and more information can be found at the Mason County Noxious Weed Control Board, 427-9670, extension 592. You can also check out mason.wsu.edu.
Correct.
We'll get those connections up on our website as well for folks to follow. So, Patricia, thank you for coming in this morning.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll have you back again for sure.
All right, sounds good.
What's coming up in the fall that we can bring you back in? Anything?
Yeah, what's going on with the garden?
Knotweed.
Knotweed?
Knotweed.
Okay.
We'll talk knotweed.
We'll talk knotweed.
We'll do that.
Fall. All right. Very good.
Thank you much.
Thank you very much, Patricia Grover, coordinator for the Mason County Noxious Weed Control Board. It's 8 o'clock, 8:01. We'll join ABC News and be back with more Daybreak right after this.
1030 KMAS Shelton can also be heard on K281BM Shelton, FM 104.1, and now in Thurston County on 92.9.
Time, money, and lives, but telemedicine is getting pushback. Medicare strictly limits coverage for virtual visits. A powerful new street drug called Flakka is trending in Kentucky, where users are trading heroin for it. It makes people paranoid and gives them dangerous strength. To take on Amazon's Prime Day this Wednesday, Walmart is launching a rival sale the same day, promising 2,000 rollbacks. This is ABC News.
Turbo engines rule the road these days. Sure, they're cool, but they run hot. Take the piston skirt. They can reach over 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Burning your cherry pie is one thing, but your cherry red coupe? That's why Pennzoil synthetic motor oils are designed to protect your engine, even in extreme temperatures. So fire up your turbo and protect it at the same time. Make the switch to Pennzoil synthetics and take performance to a whole new level. Stop by AutoZone for great deals on Pennzoil, now through July 27th.
Hey, I'm freaking out. Can I just watch you skydive?
Too late, I'm already strapped to your back.
What?
It's showtime! So, want to join our rewards program? Awesome! We'll talk about it when we land.
Bobby!
How about a rewards program you'll actually use every day? Introducing Plenty. Earn points at lots of places, including AT&T, Exxon, Macy's, Mobil, Nation.
plenty they can dream, but it's not right for everyone. ABC's Daria Albinger explains.
It was a part of the Housing and Economic Recovery Act of 2008, but a few years later, the first-time homebuyers tax credit may have left a lot of people in the basement financially. Spenja Goodell is an economist with the real estate website Zillow.
We found that the net financial, in this case, disadvantage from having bought in 2009 up to this point in 2015 is roughly almost $57,000 on average in the U.S.
And she says most buyers would have been better off renting and investing that money. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Opus is back. The popular cartoon character from Bloom County made an unexpected comeback in a comic strip posted on Facebook by his original creator. In the strip, the penguin awakens after what he's shocked to discover was a 25-year nap. Separately, a posted photo by the artist says a return after 25 years feels like going home. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
For KMASnewsradio.com, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. A traffic reminder that Johns Prairie Road from approximately milepost 3.30, the old county shop, to milepost 3.77 at State Route 3 on County Road number 91720 will be closed today until 3 p.m., weather permitting. The closure is needed to have the road crew chip seal the roadway. Lacey police arrested a man Saturday night for stabbing another man in the chest. Police say an altercation at an apartment complex in the 5500 block of College Loop Southeast led to the stabbing. The victim was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was booked into the Thurston County Jail. The city of Shelton has begun a series of repairs to damaged sidewalks within city limits. Public Works Director Greg Clark told KMAS the city removed 10 to 12 trees along Old Olympic Highway last Thursday in front of the PUD power station. The trees were problematic in that they were planted under power lines and had grown to dangerous heights. In addition, the sidewalks were damaged by the tree roots, resulting in a trip hazard for walkers. In total, about 700 feet of sidewalk is being repaired as a result of the tree damage and removal. The plan is to landscape at this location with low-growing shrubs instead of trees to prevent future interference with the power lines. The city has 15 more sidewalk projects of this nature scheduled. The next project is on the opposite side of Olympic Highway in front of McDonald's. The city will announce future projects before they start to keep residents informed. The Super 8 Motel on College Street in Lacey reopened Friday after completing water treatment recommendations issued by the Thurston County Health Officer, Dr. Rachel Wood. The motel closed voluntarily on July 2nd due to an outbreak investigation of Legionnaire's disease. Legionnaire's disease is a serious form of pneumonia that is caused by Legionella bacteria, which is usually found in water. Prior to guests returning to the motel, treatment of the water supply system was recommended, focusing on the plumbing, ice machines, pool, and spa. County health officials verified that all of those recommendations were completed on July 10th. Shelton's Adopt-A-Pet Center has been responsible for the successful adoption of over 200 dogs per year for the last several years. KMAS spoke with Adopt-A-Pet member Oliver McHenry about the services offered by the program.
And we offer several programs. One is a spay-neuter program, which we will help pay for. We offer emergency medical, and we offer free food for those people who need food for their dogs.
Learn more about the program on the full special report at KMAS.com. For 1030 KMAS, FM 104.1, and in Thurston County on 92.9, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news, connect with KMAS, and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch Daybreak live. Follow the link on KMAS.com or search KMAS Radio on YouTube.
Snow melts. Rain falls. Rivers form. This happens all over the world. But when it happens here, something wonderful unfolds. A renewable source of energy. created without releasing even an ounce of CO2 into the Earth's atmosphere.
Mason PUD 3. Clean, renewable, and reliable energy every day.
For News Radio 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 104.1, 92.9 FM Thurston County, and online streaming audio and video on KMAS.com. A good Monday morning, one and all, 8 minutes past 8. And the first half of the Major League Baseball season came to a crashing end yesterday, especially if you were a Seattle Mariner fan. 10-3 the final. It wasn't that close, as Seth Smith hits a solo shot in the bottom of the ninth to give us our third run of the evening. It was about, I can't remember, 7-0 or something when I finally got my seat to sit down to watch the game. It was a pretty incredible meltdown. 3 errors by the Mariners defense, and Taijuan Walker looked to be back to when he was struggling in April. He's young, so those things happen. But it was a disappointing game, even for Lloyd McLennan, who actually said as much. He says it was a bad game to watch and not a good game to end the first half of the season on. So the M's will regroup and go back at it again in the second half of the season, maybe dubbed as the most disappointing team of the first half. I think if you looked at all the teams and all the potentials and everybody, Seattle has to be discouraged by what occurred during the first half of the season. Let's hope. I mean, there's a little bit less than a full half of season left, and we'll see what happens. You represented on the All-Star roster, which will be played the game tomorrow night in Cincinnati. Big home run derby tonight. Mentioned in Cincinnati. And if you check the standings here at the halfway mark, the Yankees are leading the American League East. The Kansas City Royals are tops in the Central, and the Angels number 1 in the West for the first time since April the 17th, as Houston was hanging on to that slot, and they got to feel a little bit of dejected. They're in a 6-game losing streak. Over the National League, Washington Nationals lead the East, St. Louis Cardinals lead the Central, and the Dodgers of Los Angeles lead the National League West. And so there was that. Jordan Spieth, looking to this week. He's already won the Masters and the U.S. Open. He's heading for Scotland, to where the game began, St. Andrews. And he'll be competing in the British Open that gets underway this week. On Thursday, we will have coverage for you on the hour, every hour, Thursday through Saturday, brought to you by Alderbrook Golf Club, celebrating their 50th year here in the community. That's sports. Jeff's got the weather forecast for us.
Well, the South Sound forecast, and a good morning to you, is looking to be at about 77 today. That was the high yesterday at Sanderson Field. Expect that today, tomorrow, pretty much through the whole week here. It's 62 currently with some cloudy conditions. There were some rain showers in the Olympia area during the overnight and early this morning, but has kind of not been around here at all, for sure. So 62 right now, and good morning.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the gateway to the Olympic Mountains, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right,
you didn't hear that from me.
Here at KMAS, KMAS.com. A good morning to you.
Yeah, let's welcome Brian LaFlame on Mondays at this time, every Monday, from the LaFlame Group and Eagle Home Mortgage. Brian, good morning.
Hello, fellas. How are you?
We are well. It is time for Real Estate Resource Radio, and you are the man with all the resources. How's it going?
I'm the man on the line, so I guess that's got to be it, right?
That's got to be it. What's our topic of conversation this morning?
So today, something that clients have been bringing up a lot to me lately is the difference between the interest rate and their annual percentage rate, or their APR. It's kind of a confusing topic, I think, to most. What do you shop? Do you shop interest rates when you're looking online, or you're talking to your mortgage broker? Do you look at APRs? And the answer is yes and no.
Yes, you do, and no, you don't.
Yeah, it depends on your situation. I guess I'll dive right in and explain what the two are. The interest rate, I think everybody's pretty easy to understand. It's the interest you're paying against the loan that you're taking out. So if you take out a $100,000 loan at 4% interest, you're paying 4% on that $100,000 loan. The easiest rate is you're not paying cash for a house. We're talking about mortgages here. You're not paying cash for a house, you're financing it, and there are costs associated with financing. And it is a way to see which lender or which choice of mortgage you're taking has higher or lower costs based off what the APR might be.
And who determines the annual percentage rate? Is that your seller, or is that the banks, or is that the mortgage companies? Or?
Great question. It is a combination of the bank and the borrower, the person getting the loan and the person giving the loan. So, an APR, you could buy your rate down. Some people, maybe their mortgage rate right now is at 4%. They'd like it at 3.75. They can pay some money up front. Shopping for interest rates online is very, very, it's dangerous, because what you're seeing, one, you don't know what the costs are going to be associated with that loan. And two, you don't know what the criteria is for getting that specific interest rate. Secondly, most Americans keep their mortgage for about 5 years, and they stay in a home for about 7 years. An APR, however, is calculated over 30 years. So paying to buy your rate down and having a higher APR up front may make sense if you're going to take the loan out for, for the amount of time it's going to take you to make that money back that you're buying the rate down originally. But if you're going to keep it for less than whatever it's going to take you to buy it back, or to earn that money back, it may not make as much sense. Secondly, it may make more sense to take a little bit higher interest rate over the first 3 to 5 years of a loan, because the cost that you may roll in on a refinance, or if you're paying your own closing costs, would actually sometimes end up costing you more than if you took a little bit higher interest rate and a little bit lower APR. Does any of that make sense?
Well, it does at one level. And another term popped in my mind while you were doing these explanations, Brian, and that is ARM, the adjustable rate mortgage. Now, how does that play into this?
So an adjustable rate mortgage, it's pretty difficult to find an exact APR. You'll have an APR during the fixed period, but after the adjustment period, you're not quite sure what the rate's going to do. So it could go up or it could go down. Another kind of, special circumstance recently is an FHA mortgage. So an FHA mortgage has mortgage insurance that's going to stay on the loan for the entirety of the time you have your loan. So the FHA charges their upfront mortgage insurance premium, and they also charge an annual mortgage insurance premium. That's an APR cost because you're financing, and your financing is predisposed upon you getting any mortgage insurance. So your APR is going to be super high on an FHA loan because that mortgage insurance will never come off.
When you say super high, that's relative.
It's relative to, say, if you're putting 5% down on a conventional loan as opposed to 5% down on an FHA loan. And that's a good indication of not all loans are made the same. So if you're looking at a conventional loan with a little bit higher interest rate and an FHA loan with a much lower interest rate, the FHA loan is probably going to have a higher APR than that conventional loan, even though the interest rate's higher. And the reason for that is the mortgage insurance you'll be paying.
Oh, man. Okay. So that makes a big difference. All of these, we might note, though, are lower rates than what a lot of us experienced prior to the recession. In other words, most of us were in double-digit interest situations, or high 9s or 8s, or or that sort of thing prior to the collapse. And now on the rebuild, we're still at historically low rates right now, aren't we?
Yeah, rates are incredibly low, and I think that is what is having a lot of clients look into the difference between their interest rate and their APR, because we're at super, super low interest rates right now. And one way to compare one to another is your APR. The problem with that is there's no simple answer to what your APR is, and it'll be different for each loan. It can get pretty convoluted, and the answer to that then is to have a mortgage broker that you trust, somebody that will sit down across the desk from you and explain the options and why one may make more sense for you than another, while on the surface the other may look like it looks better.
If I'm a few years into my mortgage and I was unaware of this, or I find that you could help me out, can we go back and look at this again? Is that what refinancing is?
Yeah, so when you refinance, that's a reason why I think APR is a bad indicator of mortgage financing choices, because you're not going to normally keep your loan for 30 years. APRs on credit cards make sense because they're revolving and you're going to keep them almost into perpetuity until you cancel the account. But for a mortgage loan, you're not going to probably keep that same loan for 30 years. So your APR really is irrelevant if you're going to be selling within 3 to 5 loan for 30. Decided to refinance and say you had a high APR or even a low APR on your original loan, that's kind of a sunk cost. It shouldn't determine your factor into your decision making of what looks best for you right now. So no matter what your last mortgage was, if it makes sense to maybe go to a 15-year right now, or if it makes sense to get out of an ARM that you were in before now, whatever you paid for that last loan really doesn't matter, because your decision should be factored upon what's in front of you right now.
One more question that I've got, Brian, and I don't even, shows you how tuned into news I am. So I know that the director, Yellen, was going to announce whether there's impending inflation rates coming our way for the economy. Is real estate reactive immediately to some news like that, or does that take a while to assimilate itself into a real estate transaction?
That's a great question. It lags, so it does take a while to assimilate into the real estate market, and the reason is because the interest rates that Chairman Yellen is talking about, they don't affect mortgage interest rates. Mortgage interest rates are set by a secondary market of investors, and while the federal funds rate may affect those investors and their ability to get money, or banks' ability to lend money and borrow money from the Federal Reserve, it doesn't affect mortgage interest rates right away.
Okay, very good. Well, you are a fountain of information. Brian LaFlame from the LaFlameGroup.com, LAFLAMME, the LaFlameGroup.com, EagleHomeMortgage.com, on College Street in Lacey, and it's 360-915-5806. You're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, and we have you connected here on our website as well. If folks need to reach out and talk to Brian about any kind of a home mortgage question, you've got answers. Not always easy to understand answers, but they're answers nevertheless.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, guys. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I hope it was helpful.
Oh, it was, absolutely. And we'll talk to you again next Monday for sure.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Brian LaFlame. And we break away here for just a moment. It's 8:21. It is a Monday morning. Jeff and Dale on Daybreak. Good Monday to you.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work from home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Attention MMA fans, ready for more Rage in the Cage? Saturday, September 26th, Lucky Eagle Casino brings you Apocalypse in the Cage 2. MMA kickboxing and traditional boxing live in their event center. Doors open at 6, first fight at 7, and a Lords of the Cage title fight in the main event. Tickets start at $45 at LuckyEagle.com and the Lucky Eagle box office. Don't miss the action. Saturday, September 26th at Lucky Eagle Casino and Hotel. I-5 to exit 88, Rochester, Washington, where you belong.
Hi, this is John Patch, host of Talkin' Pets on News Radio 1030 KMAS, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
Good morning to you. It's 8:24 here at KMAS and KMAS.com. Good morning to you. Looking at some of the things we just heard about the Lucky Eagle Casino. They've got some big things going on. Fog Hat on the 24th of July.
Excuse me.
Then August 29, 30, the Outdoor and Sportsman's Show going to be there.
That's going to be really cool.
And then on Here's Your Sign. Is that what it is? Here's Your Sign.
The blue color.
Bill Engvall's going to be there September 6th for 2 shows, a 4 o'clock and an 8 o'clock.
Funny.
Yeah, so that. And then what we had just heard about was the Apocalypse in the Cage, some MMA fighting coming the end of September. So some good stuff around the area for sure. Stock numbers coming up in a little bit. Find out what the old market's up to and some other stories from around the Northwest.
Headlines?
Yeah, so the mayor of Tacoma wants to put a proposal for a 12. This is interesting because I think they already have enough votes for the Citizens Initiative seeking $15 an hour.
Yeah, this is an answer to that. This is
so you can decide.
Yeah, you can vote on that one instead, or in addition to. Or
That's us. We were in Squim. No, where were we? Port Townsend, and they had a sign at the. We gave Kaiser his first Happy Meal we were driving and it was hungry time.
And he survived.
And he survived.
Now, what kind of was it one of those?
It was the chicken nugget one.
Okay.
So I said.
And you like those?
Okay, if we're doing this, then I better try to figure out the best thing for him. So the chicken nuggets.
No cheeseburger?
No.
Okay.
No cheeseburger. But then it came with some Go-Gurt. Yeah. They've really stepped up these meals.
Well, that's what I was saying. They got a real healthy.
And like milk, you got a milks.
No pop,
No pop, and just a couple French fries.
Because you held on to the French fries? He didn't like them?
No, he ate them. He wolfed all that stuff down.
Yeah.
We got that. What were we talking about?
You were in Port Townsend.
No, we were right. Well,
you went to McDonald's.
And they have those Minion toys. Minions was way tops of the box office, but then they have the one that supposedly swears. Did you hear that story over the weekend? I heard
something about one of them.
We got that one.
Did you? Could you just swear?
It sounds like WTF. It really does sound like it.
You know it isn't.
No, I know it isn't, but your mind is playing tricks on you.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I bring it all around because at that McDonald's, there was a sign that says, as of July 1, everyone here gets $10 an hour. And I thought it was an interesting sign to have on the outside of their store for people to read.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what they're doing to do something. That was in Port Townsend. So the mayor of Tacoma, this is how I get to this story. A proposal for a $12 minimum hourly wage. Citizens Initiative seeking $15.
Might I just add, Starbucks announced today that they're going to raise the price of coffee.
I did see that. Although I also saw
your sign.
That Starbucks is looking to figure out a way to help unemployed, I don't know if it's unemployed youth or homeless youth.
But they're going to help the youth.
Try to, with some jobs and stuff.
Speaking of jobs, for those of you listening and looking for something to do and some employment, Walmart has some sandwich boards up there on the street saying they need some help with their remodel.
Remodel?
Yeah. They're doing some remodeling up there, and they are looking for help.
Oh.
That's all it said. So I'm thinking it's a labor-intensive job. if you're a person with an able body, and you're looking to make a few bucks,
cool.
Ramble on up there and see if you can pass muster for that, because there's an opportunity for you. 8:28 in the morning. Karen Shade had the best weekend of her life.
Well, I always have a good weekend.
I know. Every weekend is a better
Oh,
weekend.
yeah. I saw my Tigers, so, I was out there. We had Wildcat Bingo Saturday night, which was great. So, yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
You do live on the edge, Karen. There's no doubt about that.
I do.
All right. So how about in light of all the big announcements about inflation and all that, are we okay today on Wall Street this morning?
We are okay. In fact, U.S. stocks are rising today after Eurozone leaders announced they've reached a deal to provide further bailout aid to Greece. Eurozone leaders say that they'd give Greece up to $96 billion in fresh bailout loans. Following the news from Greece, investors will now begin to turn their attention to corporate earnings season, which ramps up this week. U.S. bond prices are lower this morning in reaction to the Greek deal. So far this morning, the S&P 500, the best performing sector is consumer discretionary, while the worst performing sector is utilities. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 198 points at 17,958. The Standard & Poor's 500 Index is up 18 points at 2,095, and the NASDAQ Composite Index is up 61 points at 5,059. This morning, volume on the New York Stock Exchange is moderate, with 184 million shares being traded, and advancers are outnumbering decliners by roughly 4-to-1 margin. In the commodity markets, the spot price of gold is down $9.73 to $1,153.97. The spot price of silver is down 14 cents to $15.44, and crude oil prices are down 35 cents to $52.39. In the bond markets, the 30-year Treasury yield is currently 3.21%, and the 10-year Treasury yield is 2.44%. Stocks of local interest: Amazon is up $9.02. Costco is up $2.12. Boeing is up $1.93. Starbucks is up $1.16, and Microsoft is up 78 cents. This is Karen Shade of Edward Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. I'm located at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton, and if you'd like additional information, you can contact me at 426-4590, and daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com. Have a great Monday.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
For KMASNewsRadio.com, I'm Mary Lynn Foster. A traffic reminder that Johns Prairie Road from approximately milepost 3.30, the old county shop, to milepost 3.77 at State Route 3 on County Road number 91720 will be closed today until 3 p.m., weather permitting. The closure is needed to have the road crew chip seal the roadway. Lacey police arrested a man Saturday night for stabbing another man in the chest. Police say an altercation at an apartment complex in the 5500 block of College Loop Southeast led to the stabbing. The victim was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The suspect was booked into the Thurston County Jail. The city of Shelton has begun a series of repairs to damaged sidewalks within city limits. Public Works Director Greg Clark told KMAS the city removed 10 to 12 trees along Old Olympic Highway last Thursday in front of the PUD power station. The trees were problematic in that they were planted under power lines and had grown to dangerous heights. In addition, the sidewalks were damaged by the tree roots, resulting in a trip hazard for walkers. In total, about 700 feet of sidewalk is being repaired as a result of the tree damage and removal. The plan is to landscape at this location with low-growing shrubs instead of trees to prevent future interference with the power lines. The city has 15 more sidewalk projects of this nature scheduled. The next project is on the opposite side of Olympic Highway in front of McDonald's. The city will announce future projects before they start to keep residents informed. The Super 8 Motel on College Street in Lacey reopened Friday after completing water treatment recommendations issued by the Thurston County Health Officer, Dr. Rachel Wood. The motel closed voluntarily on July 2nd due to an outbreak investigation of Legionnaire's disease. Legionnaire's disease is a serious form of pneumonia that is caused by Legionella bacteria, which is usually found in water. Prior to guests returning to the motel, treatment of the water supply system was recommended, focusing on the plumbing, ice machines, pool, and spa. County health officials verified that all of those recommendations were completed on July 10th. Shelton's Adopt-A-Pet Center has been responsible for the successful adoption of over 200 dogs per year for the last several years. KMAS spoke with Adopt-A-Pet member Oliver McHenry about the services offered by the program.
And we offer several programs. One is a spay-neuter program, which we will help pay for. We offer emergency medical, and we offer free food for those people who need food for their dogs.
Learn more about the program on the full special report at KMAS.com. For 1030 KMAS, FM 104.1, and in Thurston County on 92.9, I'm Mary Lynn Foster.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news, connect with KMAS, and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Hour 1030 KMAS. News Radio 1030 Shelton FM 104.1, 92.9 FM, Thurston County, and streaming online audio and video. KMAS.com. First half of the Major League season came to an end last night, and that means it's almost time for the All-Star game. Almost, but not. Wait, whoop. The game is tomorrow. Tonight, the game's biggest hitters take part in the Home Run Derby.
I wish they had more of a skills challenge. I love the skills challenges. You know, throw a football through a tire, hit a ball, and make it hit the foul pole. You know, like maybe play. Do you remember when Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley did that game of horse? Was that the two guys, or was it Larry Bird? Off the stairs, off the scoreboard,
rafter.
Nothing but net.
Yeah.
I love skills.
That was make-believe. You know that, don't
Well,
you?
it wasn't. Okay. Sure.
But, yeah, no, those are fun. And there's those pros are so skillful. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But you see their skills every day in a game.
Well, that's true.
You know. This brute power home run derby, I was hearkening back to the old black and white TV days. They used to have the home run derby.
The what days?
The black and white TV days.
You mean the TV sets were black and white?
Yeah, TV sets, pictures were black and white.
Whoa.
TVs came in all sorts of colors. Brown, mahogany, and
whoa.
Yeah, the actual picture on the tube was black and white.
Huh.
Hey, everybody, we're at Gillette Field. And then they'd hit the home runs. I mean, the fences were, and then they hit and it was fun. So it goes, home run derby goes way, way, way back.
Back.
And right then I think it was invented for television. I think it was invented to engage the fans with something more than just the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do something else while we're taking this break. So it was awesome, and it is awesome to this day. And it changes again tonight. Instead of, they used to be, 3 strikes and you're out, or 3 hits that were less than were fair, but less than a home run, you were done. So now, 5 minutes. Just hit anything and everything that comes across the plate. 5 minutes total home runs in 5 minutes. That's your total. So a little bit different rules tonight for the home run derby. And then the actual game will be played tomorrow night, and it is in Cincinnati this year, and Pete Rose will be there, and he will be acknowledged and rolled out with other former Senator Johnny Bench, all the great stars of the old Cincinnati, the Big Red Machine. I'm sure that Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr.
Yes,
will both be in attendance. Right. Yeah, it'll be a big night in Cincinnati tomorrow night, and so a lot of fun, a lot of history at the All-Star game this year. Meanwhile, maybe the most disappointing team in the first half, the Seattle Mariners. Do a little soul searching on this 4-day break, and maybe this is just what the doctor ordered. Maybe this is the toxics they need, and or tonic that they need, not toxic ragwort.
Toxic has been the first half of the season.
Maybe they can turn it all around for Coach Lloyd McClendon. He is at Cincinnati. He's one of the ceremonial managers for the American League. And then we have Nelson Cruz and Felix Hernandez on the roster for the American League. Jordan Spieth, won where it all began for him 2 years ago. Yesterday, he won the John Deere Classic, his first PGA Tour event that he'd ever won, and the only one that he'd ever won until the Masters this year, and then the U.S. Open 2 weeks ago. And now does not have the number one ranked player in the world to contend with, although they have a very intense relationship already. Rory McIlroy will not play in the British Open. Tiger will. Phil will be there, but no Rory. All right, that's sports. I could go on, but I won't.
64, cloudy now, and we're expecting it to be about the same as it has been yesterday. Mid to upper 70s, and that's really going to be with us here through Friday. All week long, we're going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Maybe get back into the 80s for the weekend. But come the 20th, this weekend is Lake Fair, by the way. Come the 20th, for our golf tournament at the Alderbrook, it'll be partly cloudy and 80, and we hope to see you there for the golf balls from heaven and all the other fun and festivities that are happening during that golf tournament. 64 right now.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the southernmost tide pool of Puget Sound, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
840 KMAS, KMAS.com.
This stuff since you've moved on.
There's a lot.
Yeah. It's not the same. It's not the same landscape as you remember.
It was a blurry landscape.
Well, that part of it's the same.
Good morning to you. Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS, KMAS.com. Tomorrow is a Tuesday. We continue our candidate interviews for you. And tomorrow, we'll talk with Tom Wallner. And that's right. He is the current Port of Shelton commissioner in the 1st District. He's running for re-election. This morning, we heard from his challenger, Sue Patterson.
Yes.
You can find all of these on KMAS.com under the news tab 2015 Voters Guide.
A week from Thursday, July 23rd, is our primary candidates forum. KMA is very proud, pleased as pleased could be, to be bringing you live on the air and online the candidates forum from the Public Works facility in Mason County, and we will be on the air at 6 p.m. For that forum, and we have just about 20 candidates scheduled to join us for their take on your questions. Please go to KMAS News at KMAS.com with any questions about any of the candidates that are running for office, and we'll see if we can't get your question answered during our forum on the 23rd.
Tomorrow, also on Daybreak, we will be talking with Michael Siptroth. It is another year, and we're going to have Michael back in. He teaches the summer classes, like summer classes at the Pacific Northwest Salmon Center.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah. Okay.
So
All right.
Michael will be back in.
Sweet.
And
Okay.
Aaron Milbacher, Seth's replacement for the Communication and Outreach Coordinator for the Pacific Northwest Salmon Center. Both of those folks will be on tomorrow.
All right.
We'll talk about that. And then Bob Terhune, I mentioned Lake Fair just a second ago.
Yes.
Bob Terhune's going to be on. He is the coordinator
Tomorrow?
of the USS Olympia, right? So Bob's getting the USS Olympia here into the area, and there's going to be 3 Navy folks flying into Olympia to represent the USS Olympia. So we'll talk with Bob about that and all the fun that happens with Lake Fair that starts on Wednesday, goes through the fireworks Sunday night. And then finally tomorrow, Dale, we talk with Kathy Fuller and Lacey Goldsby about the 4-H extravaganza that's going to be happening at the high school. This is the chance for the 4-H kids to
So this is going to take the place of the fair. So a 4-H extravaganza, and it'll be well supported, and we'll give them plenty of publicity about that. And that begins tomorrow. We're action packed wall to wall tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow,
looks like a great week here as well with Port of Call and Toby Kevin on Wednesday. Let's see, also Lance Lambert on Friday, and then we continue our candidate interviews going on into next week. We'll get our ballots on Tuesday. Well, they'll be mailed on Tuesday, so you'll either get them on Wednesday or Thursday, whatever. And then Thursday, again, is our candidates forum.
All right, Patrick Stewart.
Make it so.
75 today. Harrison Ford. Indiana Jones. 73.
No.
73 today.
Patrick Stewart, Jean-Luc Picard, and Indiana Jones are only a year apart.
Yeah, 2 years apart. 75, 73. Yeah. Patrick Stewart looks 10 years older than Harrison Ford, doesn't he?
He does, but he's looked the same for the last 25 years.
Yeah, you're right. I will give you that. He looked 75 when he was 55.
He enjoys life.
He does. Still. Okay, so I'll tell you his name. He's having his birthday. You tell me why he's famous. He's 71 today. His first name is Erno Rubik.
I'm going to go on a limb.
Okay, go way out there.
And say he was the guy who invented the pet rock.
You are wrong. But your tongue is stuck in your cheek. He made millions.
Yeah.
With his little cube puzzle, the Rubik's Cube.
There are folks that can do that blindfolded.
I know. How do you do that? How can you do that? Is it a certain sequence?
It's a sequence.
Of turns?
It's a math sequence. I think if you do...
Have you ever done it?
No.
Me either.
I had a friend that would do it in about 35 seconds.
Yeah.
And yeah, you look at the... I think it's, you twist middle one way, then middle 3 another way, and you follow a certain sequence.
Right.
And it ends up being done.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's too deep for me.
Or you can just peel the stickers off.
So if you've done like me and just thrown a Rubik's Cube as hard as you could, as far as you could, you can thank Erno for that.
Stupid Rubik's Cube.
Chief Cheech Marin of Cheech and Chong. He played the role of Chong. He's 69 today.
He's not the one that gets busted all the time?
No. He's the straighter one of the two.
From Tin Cup.
Yes. Nash Bridges.
Nash Bridges. Listen to you, Don Johnson. Day 46 here at KMAS. We'll take a break. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. iFiber Communications, the fastest internet provider in Washington State, has just opened their doors here in Mason County and got their first local customers signed up. James, tell me about your experience.
From the first time I learned of iFiber to the day I got hooked up, even now, I felt that my fiber connection and the service given to me have been the #1 most important job to every member of the iFiber team. And not just because I was first in line with my nose pressed up to the glass waiting for a company to take my money.
What differences have you noticed?
I get what I pay for. With non-fiber solutions, you're paying up to the top and never get a constant number anywhere near that top. With fiber, you certainly do. With iFiber, you get it at a competitive and affordable price.
Why should others sign up for iFiber Internet?
Well, iFiber has made a commitment to Mason County. They're working hard to bring fast speeds to everyone at an affordable price. And now with phones and television, your bill will be all in one place with no hidden fees or sudden price changes to surprise you month to month like other all-in-one service providers.
Get signed up for iFiber Communications today by calling 360-427-4000 or visit iFiber.tv for more information.
Why does Papa Murphy's offer any large pizza for just $10 on Tuesdays? Because these things also happen on Tuesdays.
Soccer practice, softball practice, t-ball practice, picture day. Jake's mom can't do carpool, dentist appointments, orthodontist appointments, Zumba lessons, Papa-thons, PTA meetings, science fair, show and tell, book reports, and athlete practice.
Papa Murphy's $10 Tuesdays. Any large pizza, just $10. All fresh made and hot out of your oven. Make Tuesdays easier and more delicious. Fresh made, fresh baked. Papa Murphy's.
Love at 425 degrees.
With this KMAS special report, this is Adam J. Click. Today, I'd like to give special mention to Adopt-A-Pet in Shelton. Over the weekend, I met with one of the lead volunteers at Adopt-A-Pet, Oliver McHenry, and he told me a little bit about the program and what it is that they do.
We can accommodate about 30 dogs at any given time, and we adopted out 247 dogs last year. And we offer several programs. One is a spay-neuter program, which we will help pay for. We offer emergency medical, and we offer free food for those people who need food for their dogs. We're a no-kill shelter, and of course, being a no-kill, we've had Sam and Marty, our two old bachelors, for over 7 years. And one of the things that we try to do before we ever allow anybody to adopt, you have to complete an adoption form with us, and you would think you're adopting a child, because we ask a lot of questions. If you adopt a dog from us, and for any reason you can't take care of it, you don't like it, it doesn't fit your family, you're obligated to bring it back to us so that we can work with the dog and then find another home for it.
Oliver explained that at Adopt-A-Pet in Shelton, the top priority really is the welfare of the animals. He said that with their spay and neuter program, it's their goal to literally work themselves out of a job with their dedication to keeping animal populations under control. But they can only have a hope of meeting these goals with the help of many dedicated volunteers.
We always need volunteers. We're an all-volunteer group. We have no paid staff of any kind. We have volunteers that do nothing but walk dogs. We have volunteers that do laundry. We have volunteers that clean the kennels. And they spend a lot of time with them socializing. Take them out in the play yard, play ball with them, find out if they like to play ball. You know, we don't ask for an 8-hour commitment. If you want to come once a month, once a week, whatever, and if you don't want to clean kennels, we'll find something for you to do.
And even though it's a volunteer organization, it's still a very expensive endeavor to see to the health and welfare of all these animals.
Our major expenses, our veterinary bill runs about $3,000 a month. Our dog food is about $700 a month. And our utilities are probably $700 to $800 a month. So those are the three majors. We have one-time expenses throughout the year, of course, of our insurance coverage, which is about $2,500 a year. That's probably the major expenses. It takes about $90,000 a year to run our operations, so we have several fundraising activities during the year. We start out the day before Mother's Day with our plant sale, which we have been holding at our community credit union, and then we do pictures with Santa early in December. Then we do 2 yard sales a year, one Memorial Day weekend and one Labor Day weekend, and they're good fundraisers for us. We do our golf outing in July, which will be the 25th of July this year at Lake Limerick. We ask for a $90 donation to play, and it includes your 18 holes, a golf cart, and a lunch, and some prizes.
And the personal satisfaction of contributing to such a wonderful cause. If you'd like more information about Adopt-A-Pet, you can read our full story on KMAS.com. For KMAS News Radio, this has been Adam J. Click with a special report.
This is Terry Shaw from the Mason County Senior Activity Center. You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on News Radio 1030 KMAS. Boy, you're smart listening to this station.
All right, good morning to you.
Little sliver of help going the direction of the Mason County Senior Activities Association as they received a $1 or $2 from the just adjourned 6-month session.
Oh, sure.
So much anticipated and needed some money to get that new acquisition fixed up and usable. Got a lot of space up there that they need to get fixed up there at the pavilion. All right, so here's the guy who founded the 14-year-old Lebowski Fest.
Hey, Lebowski.
The dude.
The dude.
So the founder of the Big Lebowski Fest was arrested in a very dude-like place for a very dude-like reason. He was in a bowling alley parking lot, and he got busted for smoking weed.
Oh, man.
Now, if you're unfamiliar with the film, Jeff Bridges played the man who called himself the Dude.
The Dude.
And his pastimes included bowling, smoking weed, and the occasional acid flashback.
Yes.
It was a pretty cool movie. It was very cultish. You had to kind of
quite cultish.
You had to kind of buy into the whole premise, and it spawned a lot of devotees who called themselves achievers. Roving festivals that this guy, this dude, Will Russell, started attracting costume fans to his event, and then he even got some of the stars. Bridges has been there before. John Goodman, Julianne Moore, Steve Buscemi.
That's a great movie.
Yeah. So anyway,
funny, weird movie.
He got busted, and he was charged with resisting arrest and menacing because of his actions, and then the pot possession charge.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is an alleged tweet.
Okay.
There's no jail for such a big midget.
What?
El Chapo is tweeting about his escape.
Oh, no.
I swear.
He's online this morning.
I'm looking at a story coming to us from the Daily Mail over in London.
Man.
Mexico's billion-dollar drug lord.
That's brass, isn't it?
Taunting the world. And he threatens Donald Trump as well. But there is he's gloating on Twitter. They think it's him. It's from his Twitter account. That doesn't necessarily mean it was him, but whatever. He has gloated on Twitter about his escape and taunted authorities, and now threatening Donald Trump about what he has been saying lately. But yeah, he's got tweets, and he even says, Trump, you will eat your words, something to that effect.
Yeah.
What a strange story.
It is. It's an amazing story because the first time he was jailed, what did you say, 14 years ago or something?
2001.
He was, it was found that he had this amazing network of tunnels.
Right.
That he had built to do his transporting and all this stuff. And they busted him. They got it all. They got, there was pictures on the internet of all the money and guns in his house. Astonishing. Astonishing is all I can tell you. And then they put him in the best prison in the country of Mexico, right outside of the city limits of Mexico City. And they assured us that he will never break out of that prison. Of course, we've heard that before. Let's see. Clinton come to mind, the word Clinton prison, northern New York. Well, anyway.
Oh, that's where those guys got out of.
Yeah. So you hear this all the time, that he can never get out. And then that's all a prisoner needs to hear. So he's out. He dug a tunnel over a mile long from a house a mile away from the jail, got through the drain and the shower of his cell, and in the wind. And now he's brass enough to send Facebook or Twitter tweets.
They say that it's from him. Now, I don't know. By the end of the day, that could change.
Chapo.
No.
He is responsible for hundreds of deaths.
Oh yeah.
In the cartels and all the drug trafficking and all the most horrible things that you've ever heard about, all that stuff. He's had his finger in a lot of that pie for the last 25 years. So man, pretty crazy.
Amazing.
And he's out.
Who knows where? 6:56 here at KMAS, tomorrow, Tuesday, and great conversations to be had as well, and more throughout the rest of the week. We will continue and to remind you about our candidates forum coming up on the 23rd, a week from Thursday.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a great time for you to better understand where the candidates are coming from, and if any of them kind of follow in line with what you feel needs to be done to the various, either the city or the port or the commission or the school boards, you can get in with them. So we'll have those opportunities for you to not only ask questions at kmasnews@kmas.com, but we'll be taking questions as well during the forum.
Let me just leave this for my experienced brethren out there. It was 30 years ago today, July 13th, 1985. Live Aid, the first Live Aid concert took place, raising millions of dollars for African famine relief. We Are the World. They just broke up the last one here in London's Wembley Stadium, which they hosted one in 1990, 25 years ago. So just a toss to the past there is where have the last 30 years gone? Wow. Have a wonderful Monday. See you all tomorrow.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
It may be an invented word, but there's hardly one that fits more perfectly for this time of year. All about cornscacious air today from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobetes is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobetes for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobetes, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobetes isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobetes now. Call 800-478-9631 and get 2 bottles free. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-478-9631. That's 800-478-9631.
With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Monday, July 13th, the 194th